Hello and welcome to my channel. Vice Rhino here, Cirrus over there. Hi Cirrus, how's it going?
I am trying to get Zoom to actually be sized properly because no matter how many times we do this, it's never sized properly for my shit.
That's why I use multiple desktops, because then I just put it in full screen, swap it over to the desktop that I never have to look at, and everything's hunky-dory.
Yeah, I have three screens and theoretically it should
As
work that
long
way
as
for me too.
OBS doesn't forget which desktop Zoom is on, which has happened a couple of times.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I figured out my like a workflow way to make that not happen. So like if I open Zoom on the desktop that I'm using with OBS, it'll see
Mhm.
it, and then once I move it, it'll keep track of it. But if I start it on the other desktop, it might not pick it up.
Artemis says new VTuber outfit. Not new. Salem made this for me about a year ago. I just don't use it as often.
Vulpix is saying, "Sir, this is informal attire."
It's the same attire.
It's just
It's
the man version.
it's been the same attire for years.
It's not even like the difference between the man version and the woman version is not even like typical video game stuff where the woman's version is accentuating all her bits and everything. Is like your tits are out in this one as well. They're just man tits.
There's man boobies. See, it's the same thing all the time.
There we go. Hashtag feminism. Show us them man tits.
Exactly. The problem was never that women were over sexualized. The problem is that they were over sexualized compared to the men. Now we just have everybody sexualized. Problem solved.
I don't know that that does solve the problem, Cirrus.
Nope. Every man is now Zangief and or Blanca. But they're older video game characters who were also. Never mind. This problem has been here forever.
Okay. I like how you saw that I was not understanding your reference and immediately started explaining.
It took me just a second to realize. Okay, so Blanca and Zangief are both from Street Fighter 2, which is from the Super Nintendo / arcade days of video games.
I know when Street Fighter 2 is from. I just never
They
played
are
it.
both big, burly, shirtless men in the same game that has Chun-Li and Cammy, who are also overly sexualized video game characters. So this problem is everywhere. Also, Captain Falcon has buttons on his nipples in Super Smash Brothers. Tell me what that means. I don't know.
Buttons on his nipples. Okay.
Yes.
Means he's in a fursuit of some kind, and that's the access flap?
No, he should. Oh, my. Did not realize that I had Tabasco on my finger. Now my eye hurts.
Yeah, well, I mean... Yeah. Okay, so we're already off the rails. Anyway, so we're still raising money for Project Share. We are, so far, we're at $5,402, and there's some cents in there too. I have it on good authority that a certain Australian lady donated with a bunch of pennies at the end with the intention of pissing off people who like round numbers. And then she was pissed off that Canada Helps doesn't report the pennies.
Oh.
So I'm sorry about that, but it's still ending in a 2, which is not a nice round number. I think we're going to do same thing we've been doing. It seems to have been working, sort of. For every $250, we'll do a thing. First 250, I put my onesie on. Second 250, Sirs puts his onesie on. Kevin Hitch, this show has rails.
Am I? Hold on. That begs a question. I'm going to be honest. I don't know where my onesie went. It was in that chair a week ago.
Oh,
but
sure,
it's not in that chair now.
Well, sir, I don't know where my onesie went. Oops, I guess I can't.
Show you my office?
How? Yeah, because it'd be totally impossible for you to just like shove the onesie out of the office before doing that. Yeah, no.
I'm gonna check the laundry bin. Actually, hold on.
Oh, god damn it. Yeah, no, this show doesn't have rails. Okay, so I was toying with the idea of starting a second channel, another channel, an additional channel, that would be not quite the content that I aim for here, and not my main channel's content, which is mostly atheism focused or whatever. It'd just be kind of like a vlog channel where I just like, hey, I learned a cool thing. I'm going to share this cool thing with you guys. Or I'm moving. So like, this is the, like, is the, like
Okay,
an,
so I just checked the laundry bin. It's not in the washer. It's not in the bin. And it's not in the pile of clothes that haven't made it to the bin yet that ADHD probably commanded went there.
it's gone forever. Yeah, anyway, I was just kind of updating people. I'm toying with the idea of starting another channel where it'd be a little bit more unstructured, a little bit more vloggy, which is like not reporting on news and making fun of tweets like I do here, and not like responding to religious claims and creationists and stuff that I do over on Vice Rhino. And it'd be like more vlog style where like, hey, I learned a cool thing and this is I want to share it with you, so here's the cool thing that I learned. Or like media analysis, not like heavy duty media analysis, but like, this is what I think this might mean, and you know, like shit like that. And like maybe a vlog documenting my transition from the office that I'm in now to the one that I'm going to be moving into in January. And when I posted about that on Blue Sky, the overwhelming response was, don't you already do that on the watering hole? I'm like, kinda, but maybe I could actually stay on topic here if I had another spot to put my non-topic things.
Do you think that's the case though? Like, do you
Oh,
think you
absolutely not.
could?
Absolutely not. Fuck are you thinking?
Jesus.
So yeah, anyway, we are still raising money for Project Share. So if you go to donate.vicerhino.com or click the link that should be pinned in both of my chats, I see that it is pinned in the YouTube one. Should be pinned on the Twitch one as well. I don't know. I'm not a Twitch streamer despite having a Twitch stream.
I know. Weird, right?
Yeah. Oh, you made that. You're supposed to be doing schoolwork. You said you were going to do schoolwork while I worked. She's measuring rooms and shit and being like, so we can fit this furniture in here in the new house. And so she's like all excited about that. Yeah, so anyway, Project Share. We're raising money for Project Share, local food bank. They do a lot of good work in the region. They don't just do food bank stuff. They do run homeless shelters. They have programs to help people catch up on their bills that are running late, and all sorts of good stuff like that. They are really integral to the Niagara region, and they rely mostly on donations. And every year, I raise a small part of that. I was actually looking at their financial statement, and the last audit they had of the fundraising and donation stuff that like people like me doing stuff like this, we are over 1% of their annual budget usually, which, you know,
That's a
1%,
non-insignificant amount.
1% is not like, it doesn't sound big, but like when you're talking about one of the most important charitable organizations in the Niagara region, like 1% of that is actually like, that's huge. Considering I'm just some guy sitting in my office with a Rhino onesie ready to put it on. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty fucking amazing. But we need people to go to donate.vicerhino.com or click the links, because the donate one is a forward and it doesn't always work. It should work. Your browser might give you trouble because the forward itself is not secure, but once you get there, it is secure. So you might have to click, yeah, I'll go to this unsecure thing that I'm going to put my credit card information in, and then just double check that the little lock icon is there. But
Also, if you're in my chat, please go ahead and click on this link to go send money over there. That would be a good thing to do.
yeah, and if you don't trust the forward that I have set up, that's easy to remember, the donate.vicerhino.com, you can just click the link, which is like canadahelps.org/something. I don't know, I can never fucking remember it. That one. canadahelps.org/en/pages/ can't even see it, but you can click it. But yeah, so I want to see this number go up. We are at 5402 right now.
Artemis says I have cat-sized holes in my walls so that cats can get around the house. Why wouldn't they just use the doorways like you use? Also, Bunny's
because
Beanies?
no, because if you have the door shut so that you can keep the kids out of the room, the cat can still get in.
The cat is just a fur kid.
Yeah, but it's a quiet fur kid.
That's fair.
The cat also doesn't care if it sees you shopping for its Christmas presents online while it's in the room with you. But, as Forrest Valkai would say, punch that thing into the sun.
No, no.
He said that about cats. I mean, to be fair, he probably would have included human children in that as well, in that assessment. Okay, so starting off with the news. Cirrus,
Ah,
you know 1 million moms, right?
I don't know 1 million of them, but
Well,
I mean,
they
with
have
enough
they
drinks,
have
maybe I can know them better.
they have about 4,000 followers on social media.
Yeah, that sounds like not
So
a million.
it's a little bit off, couple orders of magnitude off. They have a petition together telling us that oh no, that's what even is that? Why are you there? Yeah, no, they have a petition put together telling us to not go see Wicked because not only does it include witchcraft, which we all knew about and it was already evil because of that,
It's Wizards of fucking
but
Oz.
there's also LGBTQ content. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and sign up for their petition. Viced Rhino. Email address news@vicedrhino.com. Zip postal code.
Also,
God damn it,
Nini
I'm gonna have to...
CO, thank you very much for the follow. And Nivek the Fem boy, thank you for redeeming your points for an owl.
I have to look up my post. Someone on Twitch do exclamation part PO box, I think is what it is. Can I do that? Does that do it?
Maybe.
Because I don't know what my postal code is. L2A5N1. There we go. Oh, no. Oh, well, yeah. No, they take Canadians as well. L2A... What did I say? 5N1? Sure. Please add me to the mailing list so I can hear more about this stuff. So I'm going to sign up. Sign their little petition. Thank you for your participation. Now I refresh it. And we're at 13,538! Yay! I helped!
You helped?
I
Question
helped.
mark?
Question mark? Yeah. Oh, we're at 5409. Somebody donated some money. Thank you for that.
You're a gay wizard, Harry. Dumbledore said calmly. Oh, sorry, you said Dumbledore said calmly. Sorry. You're a gay wizard, Harry. Sorry, we have to
Is that
do
the
it
Michael?
the exact
That's the
way.
Michael Gambon Dumbledore. I could tell. I like Michael Gambon. I did not like his Dumbledore. And apparently,
Nini so just subscribed. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for subbing with Prime. Also, if any of you are planning on donoing money, then maybe go ahead and somebody just tried sending me a Discord call. If you are also planning on sending money to my stream, maybe instead, temporarily for the time being, send money over to Project Share. There is a link right there. If there's a mod in my chat, please pin that link.
yeah, Project Share needs some money. Yeah, so first thing I noticed about this article, and I absolutely love it, is they use this promotional image from the movie. They just slap their logo on it in the corner. And yeah, they write at the bottom, their own text, Universal Pictures is attempting to desensitize audiences. But like, I didn't read the text at first. I just saw the image and was like, oh, Wicked. Yeah, that's right. I have to go see that. Because I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, I just think it's hilarious that, like, if you're not looking too closely, it looks like a promotion for Wicked. Because it's just a cute little image.
It looks fine.
Yeah.
Is it that the girls held hands and therefore it's the evil?
Well, here's the thing. The LGBTQ stuff is only ever hinted at in the movie, I guess. Even according to them later on in the article. But they needed an image to use, and the closest they could come was two women holding hands and looking at each other as though they care about each other. Because, straight women never do that.
You know, it's kind of funny. The more we get angry at homosexuality, the more easy it is for people to get emotionally closed off from one another, even when they're straight. Because when you start
Yeah.
demonizing things like holding hands, hugging, shit like that for certain periods of time, you end up causing people to become touch starved. We actually have some science to back this shit up. Homophobia actually is one of the things that's responsible for toxic masculinity, preventing men from communicating with one another in any other emotion besides anger. It's weird. So yeah, no, maybe this is all just bullshit.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Obstinate Sparrow in my chat says, the more you two promote the charity, the less I want to donate it to it. Just stop. Here's the thing, though. If I don't promote it, then people who are just joining the stream new don't know that I'm promoting necessarily. And they won't necessarily donate.
Also,
And also, like, I struggle with being obstinate and contrarian just for the sake of being a contrarian as well. I get that urge. I understand. But me not saying go donate to Project Share is not going to help.
yeah, I'm just curious. How do you think that people get communicated? How do you think the idea gets communicated to people that they should donate to a thing? How would you suggest we communicate that idea in a statistically effective way, a way that is guaranteed to work for the most people possible?
Talk about it.
Yeah, I know that that's the reason.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for an obstinate sparrow to get to that reason.
I know. I actually hate doing that shit. Like, there's a reason in my videos I usually forget to do any sort of call to action with like and subscribe and all that bullshit. Because I fucking hate it when other people do that. The fucking the ads that I read, I hate the fucking call to actions in those things. They're so awkward and I hate it.
But they also work.
You completely misunderstood me just as I knew you would. Okay, you could try being more clear.
You could try not sounding like an asshole.
It's like if you wrote something that you knew that I was going to misunderstand and then didn't try and reword it to be more clear, and you knew that I was going to misunderstand it, is it on me for misunderstanding it in a way that you knew that I would? Because that's what you were apparently saying. I don't know.
If you knew that somebody was not going to understand what you said, then you knew that you were not communicating something effectively in the first place. Just that is my take there. If your response to that miscommunication that you apparently knew was going to happen is to then act like an asshole, then I'm assuming with your incredible predictive powers, you are going to predict that we are going to have an altercation of some kind. I would assume.
Okay. Alrighty. Anyway, yeah. So let's read through. It's hilarious the way they word this thing. Alerting all parents. 1 million moms needs your help to make sure as many people as possible are aware of Universal Pictures pushing the LGBTQ agenda on families, particularly children, in the musical Wicked. So I saw the stage play recently. I don't remember there being anything terribly gay about it. So maybe they've added some. Because I haven't seen the movie, so I can't really say much to that. Ooh, we're at 54.44, and somebody just donated, redeemed a hydrate. Thank you for the hydrate, Terran Ambassador. I should probably get another window open so I can check and see who is donating this stuff. God damn it, where am I? Doop.
Let's see here. Where's the chat box? Let me move that to where it's less obtrusive.
All right, Scott D for $35 says, let's kick this off. Someone donated $7 anonymously and said, several of your fans in the Dapper Dinosaur community are pretty upset about your talking to Richard Carrier. Okay. Sorry.
Like we did an entire thing in the beginning of the video where we acknowledged what had happened. We didn't throw it under the rug. And we even gave our reasonings as to why we were okay with bringing Richard Carrier on. If you have a particular recent disagreement with how he has comported himself, then that is something to bring forward. As somebody who has done work on the internet for almost a decade now, I've ceased being too terribly worried when somebody says, hey, something you've done has pissed off a bunch of people. That's not enough information to be actionable to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of used to this as well. Because, like, like, it doesn't happen so much anymore, but there used to be, like, anytime I had John on my channel, there would be a bunch of people in the chat talking about how much they hate John. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
you don't have to watch. It's fine. But, yeah. Anyway, back to Wicked. Of course, the musical contains a... God damn it. You guys can always distract me with donations. We're at 55.35. And that one came from Tom D, who said, postal code is very close to doxing yourself. Rethink saying it on stream. So yeah, there was a reason I got that for my P.O. box. That is public information. Like, that's the postal code for the post office in Fort Erie. That's where you can send me hats if you want. Which, someone just redeemed a hat. Thank you, Sean. But yeah, also I'm moving soon, so my postal code will be changing, so fuck you. Actually, no, the P.O. Box postal code is staying the same, but...
You dox yourself one day after you leave. Like, no,
I...
you guys know where I live.
Fuck. Fuck the Russian hat. Yeah, actually, I thought about doing that, because, there's the, if you post a story on social media about someone being a complete asshole or whatever, they will often, like, find out where that person works, and then there will be a whole campaign to get them fired. I've thought about doing that to my neighbor who called my child a whore. Like, okay, once I move, I can, like, put his face up and be like, this is his address. Go at it. But, yeah, no, pretty much...
That'd be bad.
Pretty much everything I've thought about doing to him on the way out is stuff that I will not actually do, probably because it's illegal, or borderline. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Just saying.
Yeah. Right.
So, of course, the musical contains a tremendous amount of witchcraft and sorcery, because, it's about a fucking wicked witch. And that content prompts most parents to avoid taking their children to see Wicked. $500 million over the last couple weeks disagrees with that.
Yeah. Remember, if 1 million moms don't see it, then they'll make less money, right?
I mean, Wicked has made 500 times as much money as they have moms, if you believe their claim. And it only gets worse when you look at how many moms they actually have backing them up.
Yeah, not enough.
Yeah. Okay. But the film shows not so discreet cross-dressing. Would discreet cross-dressing have been okay to them?
I don't think that it would have been okay to them, because they would have found a way to make that bad too.
Tom Davies, what is VR's hat size? My hat size is the hat has to fit over top of headphones, so no hat is going to be big enough.
Artemis says, what does the Neko and Nekosaurus mean? Just cat. You see the ears on the head? Cat.
You know how many years we were working together before I realized that?
What?
And it wasn't until it was another streamer that I figured it out, because I realized that, like, oh, there's this other streamer that has Neko in their name as well. Like, wonder what that is. And eventually I learned from that person that it is Cat.
Fair enough. Yeah. There's in Monster Hunter 3, there's a whole joke. There's a small cat person who is the head of a ship, right? And he assumes that nobody around him understands Japanese. So whenever he comes into port, he will just start every conversation with, "Do you know why they call me Neko? It means the great tiger of the Far East." And just everybody around him is just like, "It just means cat. It just means cat."
It does. Yeah, so it's got not so subtle cross-dressing. Where were we? I'm sorry. The add-on that I use for highlighting has broken, and I didn't feel like figuring out how to fix it or finding a new add-on tonight, so I'm kind of winging it. So not so discreet cross-dressing and men crushing on men, which parents may not expect. You're like, okay, I I don't understand. Like, I don't get why that would be a big deal. Like, do you think that just seeing not even a gay couple, but just a guy showing hints that he is attracted to another guy, do you think that is going to have an impact on your child's sexuality?
Yes.
Like, can you change your sexuality just because you saw someone else have a moment?
Yes. I watched a guy with a girl and it made me straight. You don't understand. Wait,
Like,
hold on. That's not how that works.
That's not how sexuality works. And like, I get that they kind of think that it does, because like it's supposed to be the social contagion that if you didn't know that it was okay to have sex with men or whatever, then you would never even think to be attracted to a man. And now that you know it, you're attracted. It's like, no. If just being aware that the attraction is okay makes you suddenly attracted, then I got news for you about your sexuality.
You were attracted the whole time.
Yeah.
Like it's a thing that I learned a long time ago. There's a thing that we're taught, right? Not so much taught, but we're just kind of like an unspoken rule where vaginas are feminine, penises are masculine. That's just a thing.
Kristen's
so
365 says men crushing on men, more weight. It's were they bears in the movie?
More weight.
Apparently Rhino needs a big foam cowboy hat. You know what? I haven't checked the P.O. box in a while, so there might be something there. I don't know. People usually send, like, I usually get one or two people send me a thing at Christmas time. So there's probably is something in the P.O. box. I probably should go check it at some point. There have been a couple times where the post office has actually called me and been like, hey, we've had this package sitting here for you for like 2 months. Are you going to come and get it? Oh, they were all on strike. So I wouldn't have been able to check the P.O. box until, like, today.
Yeah.
It says, unfortunately, the film adapts the musical into a 2-part movie, so there is more to come. I mean, from all the people that I've heard that have gone to see it, it's actually a good thing that they've turned it into, and they're looking forward to the second one. They really did a good job with the first one.
Because they don't want something that feels like it's paced like the Mario movie was, which, as much as I enjoyed that movie, wanted you to be out of the theater as fast as humanly possible.
I took a 5-year-old to see that movie, and I can confirm that wanting out of the theater as soon as possible was a mutual feeling. She has gotten better at watching movies recently, but at the time, the screen could only hold her attention for so long, and then it's like, oh, no, I'm done. Like, she just didn't follow the plot lines. And so eventually people are doing stuff and saying things that don't make sense to me because I wasn't really paying attention earlier, so I'm bored, so I'm gonna run up and down the aisles.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It was fun. She sat through Moana 2. That was good. She made it through that. I think she's starting to actually, like, process what's going on and realize that there are stories happening.
That's at least something.
Mm-hmm. So instead of an uplifting Broadway musical about friendship and family, no, it's still that. Talents and resources were used to create a dark movie that also pushes wokeness.
Did you know that there can be movies and films and media that are very dark and also push friendship? That's the
Mhm.
entire concept of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's literally a
Fucking
story
Saving
about
Private
fucking
Ryan
yeah, like these are dark stories. Saving Private Ryan is about murder and the Nazis. And
and
yet it is
friendship.
also a story about friendship. Fucking Yu-Gi-Oh is about occultism and magic and demon spawn. And it's mostly a story about friendship. Like that
Fast and the
these are not
Furious is all
mutually
about
exclusive.
family, and
Family. It's all about family.
it's so serious and dark. That's why they take their cars to outer space.
It's just about family.
And Paul Walker's still alive, damn it. He's just not here today.
He's just not here to see this.
He's just in Brazil. Did I ever tell you I almost met Paul Walker?
You didn't actually.
He was. I was at Universal Studios in California. He was performing in the Waterworld show, and there was a lineup to meet the performers at the end, and he pieced out like two people before I got to the front of the line.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So I got my picture with whoever the fuck else was there. Well, I mean, you say it's unfortunate, but I didn't know who the fuck Paul Walker was. I was just like, ooh, that was the guy on the jet ski. So, yeah, no, I didn't care. Like this was, I want to say this was 2001? When did Fast and the Furious come out?
I actually don't know because I've never seen a single one of those movies.
Oh, the ninth one is fun. That's the one where they go to space, I think. It might be 10. I don't know. But that's the only one I've seen, and it's hilarious.
Jesus Christ.
Actually, no, I think I saw the first one like ages ago. Okay, Fast and the Furious 1 came out in 2001. So yeah, and I would have been there towards the end of the year. So yeah, this was just after he did that one. So I don't know if he was like uber famous at the time, because it seems weird, like with how famous he got, that Paul Walker would have been working in the Waterworld show of Universal Studios.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think canonically Paul Walker is still alive, just can't be bothered to save the world. Because family comes first.
Freaking Dorito Dave just said, I almost met Paul Walker too, but I survived my near-death experience.
Speaking of dark.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did my... Oh yeah, there we are. I had it open already. So yeah, instead of an uplifting Broadway musical about friendship and family, talents and resources were used to create a dark movie that also pushes wokeness. Okay, like, wokeness is just like treat everybody like human beings, essentially, when you break it down.
Wokeness is anything I don't like.
So like, yeah, true for them. Universal Pictures has traded its usual subtlety for intentionality. Would we say that they're usually subtle?
I don't think most movies have been very subtle in general lately. There's been a very high amount of explain it out for the audience in the last 10 years.
Also, like, this is Universal Pictures we're talking about. Like, it's just a production company. They don't, like,
yeah.
When I think of Universal Pictures, I can't think of a type of movie that is a Universal Pictures movie, because they do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, they're just like Paramount, and I
Yeah,
mean now
like,
Disney, because there's no such thing as just.
Yeah, so Disney used to be like the family-friendly child movies and stuff, but like that started ending in the 90s.
Yeah, they now they've acquired so many other properties that that's not the case anymore.
Yeah, like you get to like when it comes to production companies, like they don't have a brand, and like maybe they used to in the past, but they're not really anymore. So yeah, no, when I think of a Universal Pictures movie, I think of a myriad of movies that start with the world logo thingy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Universal Pictures traded its usual subtlety that can be found in basically any movie that they think will make them money. Unfortunately, the film adapts the musical in a two-part movie. Oh no, I already read that.
Yeah, the thing that people are actually happy about.
So the stars of The stars of the film Wicked Part 1 have recently hinted that there will be more LGBTQ content in Wicked Part 2, scheduled for release on November 21st, 2025, just in time for next year's. Is this a fucking advertisement for it?
Yeah,
I
it's
feel like, okay,
there's gonna be more the gay.
are 1 million moms just like low key an advertising firm?
I mean, that's what they're effectively doing here. They're making more people want to watch them.
Because like 'cause you know when you're like watching YouTube videos that are like reviews of stuff, you can kind of tell the ones that have been paid to review it versus the ones that, like, you watch people go into Disney World and talk about their experience there. There's some people that go to Disney World and it's like, yeah, I went on this roller coaster, the space one, I think. And then you get the ones that have been paid for it and it's like, yes, I went over to Space Mountain. Like they use the full proper title for the name that nobody ever actually calls it. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Like I've used a bad example because it is just Space Mountain, but like,
it's the difference
oh, the
between somebody
Tower of
going.
Terror. I went on the Tower of Terror. Someone said I went on the Tower of Terror. Someone else goes and is like, yes, I went to the Hollywood Tower Hotel experience.
Or they'll do the whole like, hey guys, we're about to go on the Tower of Terror, and then somebody goes, hey guys, we're about to go on this massive experience right here, and this is crazy, yo. This is crazy. Look at what we're gonna be doing, guys.
Yeah.
This is great. They start going through that streamer shit.
Yeah, but like what I was getting at was more the terminology where, like, if it's been paid for, they tell you like, oh, you have to say its name, its proper name this many times or whatever.
Yeah, you can't say a truncated version
Yeah.
of it.
So like instead of just saying Wicked Part 2 coming out next year, they say Wicked Part 2 scheduled for release on November 21st, 2025, just in time for the holidays.
Like there was some media personality that made sure that that would be the exact way that was worded.
Yes, exactly. Like that. This is what it seems like, is that like, this isn't an organic, we hate this thing. This is we are low key an advertising firm looking to drum up controversy just to get people talking about it like we are now.
Yeah, it's fair.
So 4 of the
That's
films.
fair.
Sorry.
No, you go on. I was gonna say the way it sounds to me is a lot closer to. I guess in my brain, it's mostly just being poisoned by being on YouTube and Twitch. It's the difference between this was sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Let's talk about Raid Shadow Legends, like this amazing brand new game with the super amazing high end visuals that you wouldn't expect on a phone game. And then you actually talk about the game itself, and it's very hard to say anything other than it's a gacha game that has.
If you buy the
kind of
loot
okay
crates, you might
character models.
advance.
Maybe, possibly.
Yeah. So yeah, 4 of the film's main characters are openly queer or gay in real life. Okay, it's not, that would
Who
be not be
cares about that? They're actors.
Okay, but I love the way they're wording it though. It's like 4 of the film's main characters are LGBTQ in real life. It's like, no, 4 of the actors who play characters in the film are LGBTQ in real life. It's like, that's not the character that is LGBTQ, that's the person playing them. Like, ask queer people anytime you like. There have been plenty of straights that have played them on TV. And not for lack of queer actors.
It's just a really dumb way of wording things.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make any fucking sense.
Okay, so, and it gets worse though. So 4 of them are openly queer or gay in real life, or at the minimum, these actors have spoken about their queer experiences. So like, either they are queer or gay, or have spoken about a queer experience they had once. Like that's such a broad net, and they only caught 4 of them?
Yeah.
In actors?
You would expect there to be a higher queer representation in anything where the arts are concerned.
Like,
or at least openly out, rather.
I have, as a straight presenting man, I have been in the audience of certain productions and watched the dances that they have choreographed and everything, and was like, I don't know that I could concentrate on the dance if I was one of the performers, because like, I got my hand on this really attractive lady's bum or whatever, and like, that would distract me. And then as this is when I thought I was straight, and I'm a young man full of hormones and everything, and as I'm aging, I've come to realize that like, no, a lot of those guys just aren't interested in that at all. Like a lot of them, the proportion is very high. So the fact
They're
that they could
not
only find 4 is...
Yeah, fair. That is entirely fair. I just
Nova Saber's pointing out the character is gay in real life would be a reasonable thing to say about a movie based on real people, but this is
but
an entirely
not an entirely fictional
not
universe.
one about the green-skinned witch lady
Jesus.
and her Jeff Goldblum daddy. Sorry, spoilers for part 2.
Oh, it's Jeff Goldblum. Okay.
Have you not seen the stage play either?
I
Yeah, so
I
just
never
spoiled
actually
the
got to
twist that
watch
they make incredibly obvious right from the get-go.
Yeah, I never got to see the stage play, but I did listen to all the music from the stage play, so I know the story of the stage play from the music.
Okay. I mean, you get most of it there.
Yeah.
But yeah. So 4 of the film's main nope, I already read that. I need my highlighter tool back, damn it. It's gonna be so rough tonight. That's what she said.
Jesus Christ.
As such, the queer representation and visibility in Wicked Part 1 were important to them. Yeah? And that's fine.
It's
like, I wonder if they have an article, so like they delete their articles after a while, so you can't really get the history very, very reliably. That's another hat. Thank you for the hat, Dragon Spartan 90. But I wonder if they would have had a similar meltdown about Lord of the Rings when it came out.
I am no man.
Well, no, not that. Like, there's witchcraft in Lord of the Rings or whatever, but like, Tolkien was a very devout Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
He was a Christian. He was not progressive in the slightest. But he also he wrote themes into his books that were kind of universally applicable. And there's a lot of homoeroticism that is read into it later that he would explain was the norm, Frodo and Sam's relationship. Apparently that was more normal for straight men to have that kind of relationship with their manservant. And I almost made a joke about this, but decided not to. But you can actually go back and look at pictures from the late 1800s, early 1900s of men that were just friends with each other, and they were cuddling with each other and everything, in a way that if we saw that today, we'd be like, oh, that's a cute gay couple. But they're not. They're just friends. And that's that's what you were saying with how it's kind of contributing to a social isolation, is that we can't be close with other men can't be close with other men because that's too gay. Women can't be close with other women because they might be seen as lesbians or whatever. Yeah. So back then, that sort of thing was not necessarily homosexual, but that certainly has been read into the text now. And Tolkien was on record saying that he was against the idea that the author is imposing meaning on the text. People should be able to get whatever meaning is important to them out of the text, and whatever meaning they can find there, that's a valid meaning for them. So I'm not sure how he would feel about people applying that to a homosexual relationship between Frodo and Sam, because he probably would not have been pro-LGBTQ, if we're honest. Mm-hmm. But in the movies, they play it down a lot. It's way more obvious in the books. But there are a few spots where, when Frodo wakes up in Rivendell, Sam runs in and grabs his hand. And if you listen to the actor commentary on that, Ian McKellen, who, if somehow you don't know this, he's gay, he actually, coached them on how important just something little like grabbing the hand and, how, don't just hold his hand, actually kind of rub it and massage it, because that is if you're in the closet or whatever, that's a socially acceptable form of affection that is not necessarily going to set up red flags for people that are homophobic, but it's still important to you. And so he was actually coaching them how to play that scene as a closeted gay couple, basically. And so I'm wondering if they would have had an article about that. If McKellen had never gone on the record about that, and let's be real, they're not watching all the DVD extras to find all that stuff. So I don't know. That's just a thought. because like
Like we read the subtext in there because the director literally said, "This is the subtext I want you to use."
yeah, but so my point in going off on that tangent was that they say as such the queer representation and visibility in Wicked Part 1 were important to them. Yeah, so like Frodo and Sam holding hands in a particular way was important to Ian McKellen as a gay man. And I imagine it was important to other gay men that saw that as representation for them, even if it's not explicitly a gay couple. Because representation is important. So, like, that's important as well. So, would they have had a problem with that? Even though it was pretty explicitly heterosexual by the end? Like, Sam married a woman and had the babies, and Frodo went off into the West.
Says gay
Proxy
subtext
Jassa Proxy saying
intensifies.
that as though I don't have all of the special features basically memorized. Yes, I am aware that Christopher Lee knows what it sounds like to stab a man in the back because he was a fucking badass in World War II.
This is what it sounds like to kill a Nazi.
Yeah, because Peter Jackson wanted him to scream when he got stabbed in the back, and he's like, "No, actually, Peter, it does not sound like you would not be able to scream if you got stabbed in the back because it punctures the lungs, so it's more of a kind of a noise." And so Peter Jackson was just like, "Oh,
That's scary.
You know that from experience? Okay, I'm just gonna let you do this." So yeah, and Paul Enns of Paulogia, who we all know, he once had lunch with Christopher Lee.
Nice.
So yeah, 6 degrees of separation wise, I'm only 1 degree away from Christopher Lee. Anyway, I heard the sound go off, so let's check the donations. We're at 55.55. That's either a nice number or a terrible number, depending on who you are. So that was $20 from Rosina K. Says, if you're doing just friend spooning, don't knock on the back door. Okay, so one of the things that I mentioned in an upcoming video in my ad spot for Project Share is that they are not affiliated with any religion. They're technically a secular charity. They do work with a church for some of their homeless shelter stuff, but they're at core a secular charity. And I often wonder, like, would they appreciate the kind of fundraising that I do for them? Like, would they want to be associated? Like, if someone from their office reads through the comments and is now seeing all these things about, like, knocking on the back door while doing your bro cuddles, it's like, I just wonder what they think about this. I wonder what they think about me. For a secular charity, a dollar is a dollar. Poor people need help, even if the people giving them money are a little bit unhinged.
Yeah, fair. I feel like maybe the way they look at it is as long as he stays into the corner and makes our numbers go up, that's okay.
Bragwin says, I'm related to Christopher Lee through Charlemagne. Aren't we all? Apparently, diehard anime otaku said, big news, I just finished the community center in Stardew Valley. Congratulations, I think. I don't know. I've never played Stardew Valley, so.
There's a lot of grinding required to do anything in Stardew Valley, so.
So it's either right up my alley or very much not up my alley. And there will be no middle ground. Yeah. So yeah. Representation is important. And they're boycotting it because it has representation, because they want people to not feel seen or validated because they're pieces of shit.
If people see gay people, that means they'll think gay people are okay, which is bad.
I mean, to be fair, as when I was a bigoted Christian, it was a lot harder for me to be bigoted against LGBTQ people when I was working with them every day in the restaurants and I knew that they're just normal people. It's like,
yeah,
you know what? I have never met this guy's boyfriend. I don't know what he gets up to in the bedroom, and I don't actually care all that much. He's just a person that I work with. And he's fine. We get along. So it's just one of those, like exposure really does lessen the bigotry. That's all it does. Like, it doesn't exposing people to LGBTQ stuff is not going to turn your kids LGBTQ. It's just
It's
going
just
to
going to
make
make
them
them
not
realize
bigots.
it's okay.
It's just going to make them not bigots. And I guess they're afraid of that as well, because they want to raise bigots. Ooh, we're at 5666. We got the funny devil number. All right, who did that? Who did the 666? Someone donated $111 anonymously and did not leave a comment. You got us to 666 and you didn't leave a comment. God damn.
Look, they're just happy.
They're just happy to do the funny devil number. I appreciate that. Yeah, so obviously this part of the movie is a nod to inclusivity along with blatant attempt by Universal to normalize same-sex crushes. Good.
It's nothing wrong with that. Like, who cares if you have a crush on somebody who's the same sex? Who cares?
Literally nobody, except maybe the person you have a crush on. So please share this with your... Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I already signed your petition, and I signed up for your address list, because sometimes I forget they exist, and then I find something like this, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're hilarious. We are now at 5766, so somebody donated another 100. Holy shit. I think one of us needs to do a onesie at this point. Project Share... Project Share folks should know to pledge their allegiance to Gay Unicorn Gary.
Since I can't find my onesie, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and take first onesie in VTuber form. Let me go ahead and go into Bop and Boop. And hold on. I just realized I have a setting that I have not mapped on this character yet. Crap, what is it? What is it?
I do like this new genre of Cirrus having technical difficulties instead of me.
Wait, I know. Instead of a onesie, I've got you. Hold on. There we go. No onesie this time.
Yeah. Okay, that works. French maid outfit. And we're $136 away from me having to put on the onesie. And then after that, the next 250 is Cirrus's uwu. So make Cirrus uwu for science. God damn it, I closed my calculator, so now I forget the numbers. Okay, tonight we have gotten 7 and 35 and 91 and 20 and 111 and 100. That equals, apparently I missed the plus button, so I wasn't adding any of that shit. I'm actually normally really good at using a number pad. So much so that when I got an ergonomic keyboard that did not have a number pad on it, I bought a separate number pad because I can't exist without a number pad.
Without a number pad?
It's 250. So yeah, we're $136 away from the next goal. And yeah, I think we're done with this news item. I already signed their petition and signed up for their mailing list so that I can what's it called? Keep in touch with the things that they're mad about, because that honestly that usually comes with some pretty good media recommendations. So yeah, next
Artemis says we're not unhinged. The bolts are just kind of loose.
Yeah, same thing. Okay, next up. This was sent to me by Alex DeWitt, which I believe that's progress only.
It is.
Yep. So this is an urgent notice about the principle of trade unionism. Did you know that unionism is the mark of the beast?
What? Wait, hold on. What?
This thing is, like, speaking of unhinged, this thing is unhinged. Satan is moving fast to inject trade unions into many businesses countrywide, especially in the southern states where he has not influence before, where he has not had influence before. You know, the Bible Belt.
What?
Toyota is now one of them.
Why? Who the fuck wrote this? Hold on. Who is this from?
Alex sent me this. This is trade-unionism-is-satanic.com. So it could just be satire, it could just be anyone, but somebody had to pay to host the website, not as a forward, I know that that's a pain in the ass because I'm too lazy to do it myself. Like, somebody is paying money to host this website. I know it's not a lot of money, but like, when there's so many free services available, that says that speaks to its authenticity.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, you made it. You fucking made it. Oh, god damn it. You fucking
It,
Poe.
but no, he said it made it. It
Oh,
made
it
it.
made it. It made. Okay, okay. It's a site
That's
that exists. Okay. I thought you tricked me there, Alex, and I was gonna say good job because like this is. I was wondering where they were gonna go with that because did you know that unions are murder?
how are unions murder?
Oh, we'll get there. We will get there, Cyrus.
I will say this: unions have engaged in murder before. Unions have engaged in violence.
But however, they have been the victims on that side of the equation way more frequently.
That's so. What I was going to say is they have usually done so as a last resort because they have had things like the ability to feed their families stripped away from them, which would lead to their families dying. And if you are a father with a child and your options are my child gets to eat or the CEO dies, which option do you take? And think very carefully before you type the option out.
I feel like you are maybe alluding to recent current events.
God, that's so weird. There's such a I have no idea what you're talking about. But anyway, just out of curiosity, do you want to go play some Mario together?
Yeah. What about police unions? Fuck police unions.
So police
that's the
unions,
one union that's not a good union.
So here's the issue with police unions, and it's a very, very simple issue to elucidate. Unions are protection for the working class. That is what their job is. Mm-hmm. Police officers are not working class. Police officers are the agents of capital. Their job is to protect money, protect capital. The union's job is to protect the police officers. So the unions are part of the capitalist class. Sorry, they are not a union in the way that we typically understand or respect them.
No.
And I recognize that it sounds like I've been reading too much theory. I promise you all, though, I've not read any more theory in the last 3 years.
He's just been watching all of Thought Slime's videos.
I hate Thought Slime.
I have mixed feelings about Thought Slime.
I have friends who he has personally slandered and never apologized for doing so. I can see
how
me off.
I can see how he has the kind of personality that would lend himself to that situation. Yes. However, that being said, I've never interacted with him, so I don't know. I don't know how much is his actual personality versus his on-camera personality. So,
I have one interaction with him where I let him know that I was including one of his clips in one of my videos because it explained a situation better than I thought I could explain it. And he misunderstood that to be me accusing him of doing something, and he got super defensive in DMs and then never said anything to me ever again afterwards. And then the incident of him slandering a friend of mine happened after that. So my opinion of him is, wow, this piece of shit sucks.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
I just know that he is very left-wing and wants to abolish employment and rent and everything, and a lot of it is yeah, I kind of agree with your conclusion there, but the way you're getting there is not realistic.
He thinks that everybody would do all labor for free because emulators exist. I'm sorry. I want to agree with a lot of his ideas because they are 100% in line with my politics. They are not, however, in line with reality.
Hellbound Hillbilly says, I could buy this as an Eli Bosnick website, but I can also buy this being a real conspiracy theory website. No, Eli puts way more effort into his fake websites than this. Have you ever gone to the one about how, what's his face? The, Michael Marshall. He's the editor-in-chief of one of the UK's skeptic magazines, not the Michael Shermer one, the good one. Eli has a whole website about how Marsh did COVID. And so it's this guy who is a leading voice in skepticism in the United Kingdom to the point where he has actually affected legislation regarding homeopathic treatments and shit.
Mhm.
And Eli's just got a website talking about how he made COVID and spread it so that he could give himself the Skeptic of the Year award again. And it's hilarious. And it is more well done than this website.
Jesus.
Marsh did COVID. Yep, that's the one.
Gainer
I don't.
Gainer says, "Who is it that Source was talking about?" Thought Slime. Again, I think Thought Slime does really good content. I think Thought Slime's content is in line with my politics, but I do not like what I have learned of Thought Slime as a person over the years and how I've interacted. The few interactions that have happened with them, I have not enjoyed.
Okay, I am not. I'm not finding any. I'm not finding the Marsh did COVID. I don't remember the exact URL for that, but yeah, Eli puts more effort into his websites than this. Anyway, so Toyota is now one of these Mark of the Beast promoting organizations. Many God-fearing individuals may have already joined or are considering joining a trade union without fully understanding the implications of doing so. It is critical for those already involved and those considering it to recognize the very principle of trade unionism is satanic. Why is it satanic? Anything against God is of Satan and thus satanic. The principle of a trade union is directly against God and his principle in the following ways.
But how so? What?
The following ways. 1. It interferes in the God-given relationship between employer and employee.
How the fuck is that a God-given relationship? What?
Because God was on Scrooge's side, damn it. Those ghosts fucked up his plan.
I guess. I don't understand it much, but you know what? Sure. Why not?
A closed shop union is murderous and is characteristically a mark of the beast.
I need to be way more high for all of this.
And
any bit of it.
And a subscription to a union means association with evil.
This has to be parody. There's no way this is real.
There's no hints that this is parody.
There's
no links to anything. Okay. The guy gives his phone number at the end. I am not going to scroll that far down because I don't want to dox someone.
He gave it on his own website.
I know he did, but I have more sense than him. So I'm not going to do it.
That's not a problem that
if I accidentally scroll down, I will scroll back up and try and minimize that thing, but I am not going to try and dox this person. Anyway, interference in a God-given relationship. Since time began, Satan, the devil, in case you didn't know who Satan was.
Just so you know.
I mean, to be fair, if you actually understand biblical scholarship, you know that Satan just means accuser or the opposition or whatever. So, like, King David was a Satan to the Philistines. And the angel from God was a Satan to Balaam's talking donkey. So, like, Satan wasn't a person in the Old Testament. That didn't happen until the New Testament. But I doubt that that's the angle that these guys are approaching it from. So Satan has been desperate to undermine everything that is of God and rob him of man's attention and response. Isn't God omnipotent? Shouldn't that be impossible? And aren't we at 5786? So someone donated $20 to say Gay Unicorn Gary commands you to join a union. Absolutely. Gay Unicorn Gary is very much pro-union.
Join a union, start a union.
Absolutely, 100%. Satan is really the Steve in Adam and Steve. Sure, why not? He has been largely successful at thwarting the all-powerful creator of the universe. He's been largely successful.
But how could he be largely successful? Doesn't make any sense. If he's the almighty...
But God will have the final say.
Wait, so you're saying that we might actually be able to do the whole deicide thing? Sweet. Final Fantasy prepared me for this.
You didn't know about the talking donkey in the Bible? It's in the story of Balak and Balaam, where there's like a prophet who won't curse Israel in the battle coming up, but he'll predict what'll happen. And so, like, as he's going to the king that wants him to curse Israel, the donkey gets blocked by an angel, and so, like, stops or walks off the path, and eventually he's just like, hey, donkey, what the fuck are you doing? And the donkey's like, don't you see that fucking angel right over there? I ain't walking up to that. That angel's gonna kill me. Obviously paraphrased, but yeah.
No, that's definitely what he said. I was there.
Yeah, that's exactly what the donkey said. So yeah, Satan has been largely successful, but God will have the final say. Most people still end up in hell, but that's their problem. Jassis says there's also Ezekiel 23:20. That's not a talking donkey. That's donkey cum. Okay,
that is a talking donkey. Actually,
horse dicks and donkey cum. That is not talking donkeys.
Nope, it spoke to me.
Okay. Sure. God has established relationships to help mankind be restful and satisfied, so that man is free to respond to God in worship. So fun fact, having Sundays off is a thing that you can thank unions for.
Yeah.
Just saying. That's not a thing that employers were doing on their own. It took unions to get that. And like, considering we're in the relationship of the employer to the employee here, I feel like that's a relevant point. I know that both of I like that both of you are just like, I know that verse. Yeah, it's my favorite Bible verse. I often get the donkey and the horse confused, but I think it's the horse's dick and the donkey's cum, but it might be the other way around. But it's and there she lusted after her lovers, whose members were like those of donkeys, and whose emissions were like that of a horse. So I think it's horse cum and donkey dicks. So I might have gotten it wrong.
I have a Christian friend who I read that verse to, and he just looked at me and said, "That's not in the Bible. That's not really there."
Clueless expert, stop spoiling it. We're getting there. We're getting there. Don't you worry about it. So yeah, they pull up Bible verses to talk about the God-given relationship between a employer and an employee. Luke 16:13 says, "No servant can serve two masters." Sure, why not? I don't see much of a problem with that. That's the one where, like, you know, you have to choose between God and mammon, and mammon being money or love of money or whatever. And so, like, yeah, I get how that can kind of give you that whole thing where it's like, yeah, if you're serving God, you don't need to worry about what your wages will be. God will take care of you.
The wages of sin are death, though. Just remember that.
Yeah. Who art thou that judgest another man's servant? To his own master he standeth or falleth. Romans 14:4. I'm not as familiar with that one, so I'm just going to give that one a pass. Next one says, servants, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh, not with eye service and as men pleasures. Men pleasures, that sounds fun.
Men pleasures.
But singleness of heart, fearing God.
Gay?
I am familiar with that verse. You know what word is usually translated there instead of servants?
Slaves.
It's slaves. That's the master-slave relationship. That's not employee-employer relationship. And it is not saying that everyone should be a slave. Like, that like, using that to say that employees shouldn't unionize is a more than a little bit yikes. Oh, apparently it was men pleasers, not men pleasures. Darn, I misread it to be better than it is. And then the last one, again, servants, be subject to your masters with all fear, not only to the good and gentle, but also to the forward, in brackets, ill-tempered. So yeah, that's 1 Peter 2:18. That's slaves. That's telling slaves to be obedient to their masters, even the cruel ones. So, not...
If they beat you hard,
yeah, if your boss at work smacks you all the time with a rod until you can't get up for a day or two, according to the rules set out in Exodus 21, then that is part of the God-given employee-employer relationship, according to these people.
My ass is now prolapsed as the good Lord intended.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, Kevin Hitch says, we don't call them slaves, they're prisoners with jobs. Ain't in it, though. Yeah. That's a whole other can of worms. I mean, it's kind of the same can of worms, but, yeah, no, slavery is alive and well in the U.S. But, yeah. So God's principle is that the employee is solely obligated to the employer. It is to be the employer who chooses what to pay each of his employees, as the following parable in Matthew's Gospel explains.
What if God
Well,
wants me
whatever.
to be paid more and the employer wants me to be paid less? What do I do then?
Well, it's the employer's decision. Whatever the employer decides is fair.
But what if God decided something different?
God wouldn't decide against the employer's best interests.
So God is completely at the mercy of the employer when making his decisions.
But also no,
That's not
because
how
God is a
words
walking
work.
contradiction. I mean, if Christians were concerned about contradictions, they wouldn't be Christians.
And he's a walking contradiction.
Satan has now introduced the evil of trade unionism to purposely interfere with this God-given relationship where the employer has all the power and the employee is a slave. Like, literally in this case, not even metaphorically.
Oh boy.
This is a direct attack on God and his principles. Well, I mean, if one of God's principles is that slavery is a good thing, then maybe your God's a dick.
I guess.
And then it is murderous in character. This is where we get why it's murder. So God's principle is that man should work to eat and provide for his family. What if the employer decides he doesn't want to pay his workers enough to support their families?
Fuck him.
Because if a man should work to eat and provide for his family, but the employers aren't paying enough to do that, but it's God's will that the employers decide and not the employees, how does that work?
Fuck him.
Because, like, have you seen the fucking... So, I know technically, according to the metrics, the economy is good right now. Inflation's at a low. Inflation's decreasing.
Nobody's fucking feeling it.
And yet wages are rising. Like, wages are the highest they've ever been or whatever. But the problem is, one single metric, the cost of housing, makes it feel like even though the economy is doing great, my economy is not doing great because I have to pay $1,700 a month for a tiny 2-bedroom apartment that can't fit all of my kids.
And if you're in America, the cost of groceries is also a factor.
I remember a time when I was I was living out on my own, renting an apartment, and our household income was $1,600 a month. That was the whole shebang. That was the whole income. And equivalent apartments to what I was renting then are now $1,700 a month. Like, that, I wouldn't have been able to survive. So,
that's what God intended.
Yeah, that's what God intended, though, because minimum wage rules are bad, apparently. But yeah, then they quote a bunch of verses talking about how good it is to work. I didn't look these ones up in context, but I do know there is one, I think it might be close to this one, where Paul basically says, like, hey, because I'm a preacher, you should pay me double wages.
I remember
Fennec says, I have a full-time job and I cannot afford a house in the city in which I was raised.
I remember watching a clip of Bernie Sanders and another senator, and the question of minimum wage was brought up to both of them. And for Bernie Sanders, he said that the minimum wage needs to be raised. Reason being, people still don't have enough money to survive. And the Republican said, no, the minimum wage doesn't need to be raised. Look outside. Anytime you drive across the street, you'll see signs everywhere saying, hiring now, $14 an hour, $15 an hour. Why would we need to raise the minimum wage? It's already perfectly fine. Just look outside. And it just reminded me of how much of the Republican Party's rhetoric is based in this veneer of, quote, common sense. Yeah, if you look outside, you'll see those signs, but where's the protections for maintaining that standard of money going up? Where's the actual agreements of wages between those individual workers? And more importantly, how many of those jobs actually exist versus are ghost jobs that are created because of the tax loophole we get in America for ghost jobs? None of that stuff is taken into account when you just do the look at the trees version of money.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's gross. But then they say, once a business is unionized, the trade unionist's intention is that over time, every employee is forced to join the trade union in order to work. I actually, fun story. I used to work in the racetrack in Fort Erie. And it unionized place. I paid my union dues. never interacted with the union. I just paid my dues and was ostensibly a member of it. But if you when I my last year there, they closed and then they reopened, but they were supposed to be like permanently shutting down, so like everybody got terminated and given severance packages and everything. And with how long I was there, I was supposed to get not a great severance package, but I should have gotten like probably like $10,000. I think that's what other people that were there for the same amount of time as me got. I got nothing because when they hired me, they wrote me down as like I was a student. So even though I was paying union dues, I wasn't technically part of the union because I was a student employee or whatever, even though I wasn't in school and was working a second job to support my family and not being in school. And so I got screwed out of that, and I contacted the union, and they were like, yeah, no, you were hired as a student, so there's nothing we could do. And so I actually, the only thing I got out of the union was they sent me a desk calendar one year. So I like calculated how much union dues I paid over the years, and was like, this is my $400 my $400 calendar. So yeah, unions can suck sometimes. That wasn't necessarily the union's fault. But yeah, for the most part, no, unions are good. They get you more benefits. They get you weekends off. They get you better working conditions. They get you higher wages. Unions are great. But I also understand why some people would see unions as a bad thing, because they just see the dues and they don't really see anything else from it. But it's like, yeah, no, those dues make it hard for them to fire you for nothing.
Yep.
Those dues make it so that you actually have a weekend to spend with your family, and you have vacation time that sometimes is paid. So, yeah. So that union kind of sucked for me, but I am pro-union.
Yeah, my experiences with unions have been, I mean, the one union I was in was bad. It was the Kroger union, but that again is not, my one anecdotal bit of evidence is not indicative of how unions operate across the board for everybody. Unfortunately, we have this weird idea that our anecdotal evidence is the only evidence that should matter.
Well, oftentimes where unions fail is not actually the union's fault. It comes from the regulations that surround unions and how unions are limited in what they're able to do. So, like, people say, oh, the union didn't do anything for me. It's like, yeah, that's because they weren't allowed to do anything for you in that moment because people voted for conservatives or Republicans. So it's one of those things where it's like, we're going to make it suck. And then people are going to realize it sucks, and they're going to blame the thing that sucks instead of us for making it suck. So, yeah. Anyway, if employees are forced to join the trade union in order to work, that's a closed shop union, which is doubly evil because, one, it will force employees to join themselves to what is evil and to what is directly against God in order to be able to work. And two, employees who did not subscribe will not be able to work to earn money or to eat or to provide for their family. This is murder!
What?
It's murder to not willingly take a job because that job is unionized.
What?
That's what I mean. They're trying to do that thing where, like, oh, people will, like, starve to death because they can't afford to buy food because that person could only find unionized work, but he refused to work for unions because they're evil. Therefore, it's the union killing him and his family, not him for not taking a job that would have provided for him and his family because it's unionized.
Also, if you're just not willing to take union work, ask yourself why that is. There may be some other things that need to be explored besides just your unemployment.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Unions are a good thing. And then we get Mark of the Beast bullshit, which is all end times nonsense, which I don't feel like we need to go into that. But yeah, trade unions are evil, according to trade-unionism-is-satanic.com. Yeah, there we go. Clueless Expert says, if not being able to take a job is murder, they should be all for UBI, right? Or
Well, yeah, because then that would just be provided. You don't have to worry about the people being murdered by stupid stuff now.
mhm, they'd be free to not take unionized jobs because their basic needs are provided for. Okay. Next up, I know we're not supposed to be doing politics stuff, but the House
It's
Ethics Committee
fine.
is apparently going to release the Gates report. Yay?
That's good.
I mean, honestly, like, okay, we don't really need to get into the article itself, but just the idea that they were going to cover this up and bury it is just wild to me.
It's also weird that they're doing this directly after Matt Gaetz said that he wasn't taking a nomination. The
That
timing
actually
is really awkward.
that might have played into it because like in order for it to be released, they needed Republicans to vote to release it, and Republicans are very much down party lines. But there are a lot of Republicans whose names we don't hear all the time. They're not in the news all the time. They are Republicans because, like, let's be real, they're sellouts to a certain degree because they, they in the past, the difference between Republicans and Democrats were like, we all agree that the country should be run democratically, but we disagree about some of the specifics. Like that has historically been the thing. Like we all want things to work. We just disagree about how those things should work.
Yeah.
Trump has taken and like it didn't start with Trump, but he exacerbated it way like it went out of control with him. And it took it from like to a point where like the moderate Republicans who are still like, yeah, I still do think that things should work, but I have like because I disagree with Democrats, I have to agree with all this other stuff that I don't necessarily agree with on the Trump side of things. Otherwise, they will kill my political career. So this was a secret vote where nobody knows who voted for what, but they voted to release the report. So this to me says that there are Republicans out there who still like I'm not going to say they have principles because they're very clearly fine with violating them, but they're not happy about it. So like they still want the report to be released. They still want there to be consequences for people who do shit like Matt Gaetz does. They still want there to be decorum. But like I don't know. So like it says that there is some hope, but the hope is a spineless one. Like as long as I can not be seen doing the right thing because I know the right thing will not be profitable for me if people find out I did it, I'll do the right thing, but profits come first. I need to make my profits first. I need to make sure I'm taken care of.
Mhm.
So yeah. It sucks. Let's see. But at the same time, it's a little bit hopeful in kind of a fucked up sort of way. Let's see. I forget where we're at. I was trying to calculate whether or not. Yeah, I think we just got that other 20. So yeah, we're still a little bit away from me putting on the onesie. But it's the thing that really gets me about this though is that Speaker Johnson is saying that like, oh no, he's not a member of Congress anymore, so we don't need to see the report. It's like
No,
do you not?
we need to see the report.
It's like do you not think that it's relevant? Like he's trying for a job at OAN. He tried Fox first and then went to Newsmax when Fox turned him down, and now he's like OAN is the bottom of the barrel. But like,
What's left?
do you not think that OAN has a right to know that they might be hiring someone who is going to be dangerous to their other employees?
Also, with OAN specifically, I wonder if Matt Gaetz realizes that most of his compatriots are actually going to be liberals. Did you see that? A
No.
lot of the okay, so fun fact, a lot of the writers at OAN are actually liberal. They're lefties, they're liberals, they're people who can't get a job anywhere else, and OAN just happens to be the ones that hire them. Many of them don't even believe half the shit that they are like half the things they are writing. They're commissioned to write it, and they're commissioned for the spin.
So, yeah, no, do you think OAN gives a fuck? No, I don't think OAN gives a fuck. That's why they hired the guy in the first place, because everybody knows this at this point. But that's the thing, though, is like this would be like being against Megan's Law. Like, would you not want to know that there is a child molester living in your neighborhood?
The only problem I have with Megan's Law, for instance, or just things like that, is it relies on our justice system being accurate.
Yeah, no, and I get that. But at the same time, this isn't actually a conviction. This is just a report. This is the evidence that we found. And if we make it public, like this is the kind of thing where it's like, yeah, maybe this is relevant to someone who wants to hire him, potentially. Maybe this is relevant to, like, if he runs for office again, the public should know that this is the kind of guy running for office. And, like, even if it's not criminal, like, this is the wildest thing to me, like, about the whole MAGA movement, is that they act like they are entitled to the job, and any amount of scrutiny is unfair and politically motivated and everything. It's like, no, you are applying for a job, motherfucker. That's what an election is. That's a job application. So, like, if you go to apply to be a server in a restaurant, and then they pull out your file and they're like, oh, hey, turns out there's some credible evidence to suggest that you sex trafficked a minor. I don't think we want to hire you right now. I don't think I want to hire you for a job where you're going to be working with children. That is a valid thing. Like, they are not violating your rights by saying, no, I'm not going to hire you. And it's the same thing with public office. That is a job that the people are hiring you to do. So the people have a right to know all this shit in case you try to run for office to apply for that job again. And did I see that Legal Eagle is suing the federal government? I did see that. I watched the video. I forget the exact details. I think it's like they want the release of the evidence for the Trump trials, like even the stuff that's being dropped. We should have access to the stuff that they found, because
that should be stuff we know.
He is a public servant, so the public should know of his criminal history, even if he wasn't convicted of those particular crimes. Which, let's be clear, he was convicted of crimes. We're talking specifically about the documents case with Jack Smith, not the sexual assault thing with E. Jean Carroll, where he was found liable for rape, or the felonies that he was found guilty for in New York, which I just heard Judge Merchan did not overturn the conviction in light of him being president now. So he's just like, no, fuck you. You're still guilty. You're still a convicted felon.
It's okay to accept that certain people shouldn't work in politics.
And also, it fucking sucks that ABC capitulated and they're like, yeah, we're sorry that we called you an adjudicated rapist, even though you are. It's a matter of record.
That's the type of thing that I wish that somebody with a lot more, like, what's the best way to put this? Somebody who was willing to be a lot more snarky was in charge of those types of things. We're sorry that we accused you of the thing that a federal court or a district court actually agreed that you were. We're sorry that we used terminology that is accurate to the actions that you have engaged in.
Like they absolutely, like, in an unbiased court system, they absolutely would have won if they'd have pushed it. And, like, yeah, maybe they would have lost in the Trump-controlled court system. It would have had to go to the Supreme Court in order for them to lose. It's like they probably would have won in the district courts. So the fact that they just capitulated so easily is just like, okay, well, ABC is now a wing of the fascist party of the United States. We can't trust ABC now, because they're willing to modify what they say away from facts that are established, because the president doesn't want them to say that. That's what I took away from them settling.
Yeah, which is stupid. It's supposed to be that we're able to actually trust our media, but we can't. We actually don't get that option.
Not anymore. And one of the things I've been seeing a lot is like I follow the guys from Midas Touch on Blue Sky, and I've been seeing a lot, like they've been retweeting everybody that says anything good about them, and everybody's talking about how like, oh, they're the grassroots media or whatever, and it's like, okay, I like the work they do. They do some investigative stuff, but like I've watched some of their videos and I end up having to like turn it off because it's like they're just like, here's a thing that I think, and here's a bunch of tweets that I found that agree with me. It's like,
which isn't the same thing as investigative journalism.
yeah, like far be it from me to criticize someone for using tweets as the basis for your show. That's the whole thing that started this Twit tweets thing. Like, yeah, I branched out into actual news stuff later, but like, I'm just some idiot on the internet after, like, at the end of the day. I'm not going to pretend like I am the news media doing the hard work that the corporate media won't do anymore. Like, no, that's not me. I'm just an idiot reading tweets.
You're a dude on the internet giving your opinion, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm not saying that they aren't, like, because I'm pretty sure at least a few of them are, like, professionally trained journalists or whatever, but, like, at the same time, all of the videos that I've seen from them is just them being like, I said a thing and these are tweets that agree with me. I'm like, okay, I don't care about tweets. I don't know who the people that are tweeting are. But the reason I follow them, though, is because they actually do, like, they'll find clips of, like, Trump saying the thing that he said he didn't say and put it right next to him saying he didn't say that. So, like, they do stuff like that. And
yeah,
it
that's
is useful.
reasonable.
And that is good. And they should continue doing that, and I appreciate that they do that. It's just the YouTube videos that end up showing up that they promote pretty hard is just like, that's not really hard-hitting journalism.
That's just, like, your opinion, man.
Apparently 50%
I had to work
of
the
them are
joke
lawyers.
in here somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. On to... okay. This is actually... I might have lied when I said I didn't know what that image was that was up earlier.
Oh.
Did you hear about the Drogans? The Drogans. Fuck.
The what?
The drones that were around Hogan's house.
No, I didn't.
Governor Hogan of, I think, Maryland? Maryland Governor Hogan. So you know there were the drones around New Jersey and people are freaking out now. And like,
actually, I didn't know about that.
Oh, well, there's a bunch of people have seen drones around New Jersey, and what counts as a drone varies from report to report. Sometimes it's just like, oh, that was an airplane. Other times it's like, yeah, some guy had a drone because anybody can just buy a fucking drone.
Yeah, that's a thing that you can spend a few $100s and you have one.
But Governor Hogan is special because his drone sighting was very recognizable. So on Friday, former Maryland governor... Oh, I guess he's former governor. He used to be the governor, but he's not anymore.
I'm hearing all kinds of funny noises.
Yeah, no. My partner's over there going through the tote that I packed and shaking her head at me because apparently I'm not allowed to pack anymore.
Oh, okay.
You don't use that purse, okay?
I said everything on the shelf except this.
You said a lot of things. I don't remember that one, okay? I packed her book. So yeah, former Maryland Governor Larry Hogan took to his Twitter account writing that he personally witnessed and videoed what happened to be what appeared to be dozens of large drones the night before above his residence in Gainesville. He went on to criticize the negligent response from the government, blah, 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 blah. Thus far, national security officials have maintained that there is not evidence of a threat posed by drones. Yeah, it's probably just a bunch of people with drones because anyone... Fennec says hi. She says hi back. Because, like, anyone can just buy a drone. I have a drone. I could go fly it right now if I wanted to. It doesn't mean shit. It's not a very good one because it's one that I got for the kids and it was, like, a cheap one. And I don't think they've used it in 5 years.
But you have it.
But I have it. And I could fly it. and it
If
might
you
freak
wanted
someone
to.
out if they're not familiar with drones. So
It's no different than one of those toy helicopters that you used to be able to get in
I
for like
have
15
those as
bucks.
well. I have
Like
a couple of those.
it's just one of those that you can see better. That's all it is.
Yeah. So I'm going to show you a still image from the video that he took showing the drones. Those are the drones that he found. Do you do any stargazing, Cirrus?
Nope.
Now, do you ever look up at the night sky and like recognize at least a couple constellations?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recognize this one?
No.
It's Orion.
I can barely see anything there.
Yeah, no, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots of white light visible. It's fucking Orion.
Okay.
One of the most recognizable constellations in the sky.
Yeah, because you look at the belt.
Yeah. And he saw that and was like, it's fucking drones, man.
What?
Yeah, he thought those were the drones.
What? No. What?
He saw stars and thought they were drones.
Why was he a politician?
I don't know.
Who hired him?
The people of Maryland.
The people of Maryland suck.
This is why the people need to know what's going on with their politicians.
Like I'm sorry, people of Maryland. I'm going there to speak in January, but I don't think I like any of you.
Here's the thing. I've always been interested in astronomy. I always look up at the sky and appreciate the stars and enjoy this shit. Like, yeah, people are making fun of him, and rightly so, I might add. But like, one of the things that I've never really believed is that when I read about like possible things that UFOs could be, one of the most common things apparently is the planet Venus. And I've never quite believed that because it's like, it's the fucking planet Venus. Like, I look up at the sky often enough that like, it's another dot of light along with the stars. It's a little bit brighter than the stars. It doesn't twinkle like the stars because the light is closer to us, so it's more intense, so it goes through the atmosphere straighter, so it doesn't twinkle the same way that stars do, because the stars, basically the signal is weaker, so it can be affected by the atmosphere a lot more than the planets can. So planets don't twinkle as much as stars do. If you look at a star that is close to the horizon, you can actually see it like flickering between blue and red as like the light passes through hot and cold pockets in the atmosphere on the way to your eyes. It's particularly apparent in like stars that are close to the horizon, for the same reason that sunsets are red and shit. Like, that's literally the same reason. And like, this is all stuff that is common knowledge to me as just a guy who happens to like looking up. So the idea that someone would see Venus and be like, that's a UFO, man, that's aliens, is just like, I didn't believe it until I saw Larry Hogan post a video of the fucking constellation Orion being like, these are drones! They're spying on me! They want to see my dick!
I guarantee you it's not impressive enough for people to be spying on you.
Well, that was a post that I saw on Blue Sky. Was someone was saying like, oh, yeah, no, it's really believable that aliens would go hundreds of trillions of miles across time and space to see your dick. And to which I responded,
probe my anus.
To which I responded, like, to be fair, I could absolutely see humans doing that. I could totally see us solving all the problems that we would need to solve to traverse these great distances across space to get to another civilization, and the first thing we think of is like, but how do you fuck though?
That is like, the first thing we would look for because we want to fuck the aliens.
Every fucking new technology we invent, the first thing it's used for is porn. Like when the camera was first invented, some of the first pictures you can find are naked ladies because we like the naked ladies. But yeah, no, so this is literally, these are the drones that he took his video of, and people take him seriously. What was amazing about this was, like, I looked at a bunch of different sources for this because I was trying to find one that I could actually use with my fucking pocket thing, so I wouldn't need to do everything special for this. Like, I failed in that endeavor, but I did find that this story was covered by the New York Post. I was like, oh, how are they covering it? Because everybody else was like, oh, this guy's an idiot who thought Orion was drones. I go to the New York Post. It's just like, they might have been drones, man. They were seriously fucking drones. Oh, it's so droney. They're drones.
It's so
we got to be concerned
droney.
about this. Well, no, I mean, they didn't say that. That's me. But like, yeah, my Heidi says, some would argue it's not porn, but art.
You've been a bad little girl and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now.
Oh, you didn't hear the audio that I just played, did you? It was Tucker Carlson saying, you've been a bad little girl and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now. Oh, she said, please. Stream's over. Stream's over. I'm going. Bye.
Later. We're not even doing tweets yet. I guess I'm just here.
I'll give you the tweets. I will give you remote access to my computer so I can go spank my girlfriend.
Oh, okay. Mine's asleep. Can I go spank mine?
I mean,
She might not appreciate that wake up though.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, if that's a thing that you have discussed in advance, then sure, go for it. I still don't actually know what number we have to get at for me to put on my onesie.
Eh.
I did the math weird. Why did I do it that way? I'm an idiot. Okay, so... Sorry, I'm going to be a little bit quiet for a moment while I do math to figure out how much money you guys need to give to get me into a onesie for the tweets.
Lucian Darkwolf says, I hate that audio, Rhino. It's so ew. That sounds like you should...
You're getting a vigorous spanking because you've been a bad girl.
That sounds like a reason to play the audio again.
That's how I roll. Remember how I said earlier that I have a bit of the oppositional thing
Yep.
in myself? You tell me you don't like something, I'm doing that thing. Counterpoint to that, though, I hate fucking wearing hats. You guys can make me wear hats.
You know you like it. Something.
And there's the hats. God damn it. You know what? Fuck the wizard hat. It's Christmas time.
Dahudores.
Oh, I have confirmation this week that Surfshark does not actually watch my full video when figuring out whether or not to approve my ad. They just watch the ad because halfway through the video I like pop up and I'm like, hey, I don't know if Surfshark is still watching because I don't know if this is allowed. You guys need to donate to Project Share. And they did not say shit about it. So I'm like, okay, they don't watch the whole video.
Fair enough.
Marco Cat says, ooh, yeah, I'm figuring that out. You send me another hat? Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is a newish hat. Elf hat. So let's see, I'm at $20 donation. Was that the last one? That was the last one. Okay, so we started the night at 5402. 5402 plus 250 was 5652, which we are past. Plus another 250 is 5902. So when we get to 5902, I will put on the onesie. And then when we get to 6152, Circe will give an uwu. The rate you guys are going, though, I don't think we're going to make it to that.
Hint,
Why does it have
nudge,
legs? I don't
nudge.
fucking know why it has legs. There's an elf on my head. I don't get it. It's just a fucking hat. Van Briggs says he's wearing an elf hat with his head up the anus.
Hmm.
I mean, I was wearing the flower hat earlier. That is technically plant genitalia, so there you go. But yeah, anyway. Hogan's an idiot who thought that stars were drones. So
Drones
people
is stars, man.
people need to look up more, is the moral of the story. And they actually turn this into like kind of a, if you want to learn more about astronomy, you can go to your like local whatever the fuck. Because yeah, it's just the constellation Orion. It's not drones. It's just stars, man. Like, look up every now and then. Go outside, touch grass, look up, appreciate the beauty of the stars that are up there. Curse Elon Musk's name when you see Starlink going across your field of vision. How many UFO calls is that going to generate? You consider that maybe stars are fake. I'm not a flat earther. And I don't even deal with flat earthers enough to have that even cross my mind regularly.
Wait, you think there's an Earth?
Fuck you. Fuck your face. Looking at stars out in the country is peak awesome. So many and so pretty. Absolutely. I took my kids to a dark sky location a few years back. That was amazing.
Pretty is I live too close to New York City to see stars.
Yeah, I actually made the mistake of, like, we went to the dark sky location, but it was during a full moon, and you don't really realize just how much light the moon gives off.
Yeah.
There's one you can take a train to Nevada. Okay, why would I go to Nevada when there's a dark sky location like a 5-hour drive away from my house? Nevada is like several days trip if I take the train.
I am starving.
I'm sorry.
Well, you know what? Hi, sorry, I'm Dad. I had to catch it because you didn't.
Proud of you, son. Oh, we are at 59.86. What did I say we had to get to? 59.02 is my onesie, so I get to put the onesie on. There we go. Off with the hat. And so 59. Yeah, 61.52 is where we are for where we need to be for Cirrus to give us an uwu. So 59.86. We're $166 away from the uwu. So yeah, I will be right back with a onesie.
I guess that means I'm here, letting you all know how I feel about stuff and things. As of right now, I feel like stuff and also things. Stumpy says intelligent fucking oblivious token. Look, if you look up in the sky and the immediate thing you think when you see something twinkling up there that's been twinkling up there for a while, why is he throwing the clothes in camera view? Is it that you theatrical motherfucker? That is being done entirely for the purpose of narrative. So he says Rhino down. Sean says, quick, sir, tell us the predictions of the Sonic series that's coming out for Shadow the Hedgehog. Yeah, I predict that it's going to be a good movie, and it's going to be fun. That's as far as I can get. I just want the movie to be fun and good.
I'm not sure how much of what the conversation I just had was audible, but
I heard I have 5 kids to feed.
Oh yeah, did you hear anything before that?
Nope.
Okay. she still wants me to get changed on camera, and so that
okay.
that led to a discussion about OnlyFans.
She's trying to get you to
placate her
show more.
by pointing out I was like throwing my pants across the camera.
You know, as you do.
Yeah. Okay, so there we are. Rhino onesie we are. Unfortunately, that's against the TOS. Yeah, that's why I told her that only if we're starting an OnlyFans, they got to pay more for that.
Sylvie
Not
Snow,
charity, they got to pay me for that.
how many times are you going to tell us about your rebrand before you just do it?
What rebrand?
Sylvie Snow has been talking about rebranding her stuff for like 2 weeks. I'm just curious as to what that means and what you would do.
I heard an ooh, so somebody did something.
Apparently.
Oh, Ninjestray cheered 3 bits? How the fuck do you even cheer 3 bits?
Ninjest was like, take 3 pennies.
Earth, the final frontier. These are the voyages of some asshole aliens who drew the short straw and were given the short end of the stick to boot. Indeed. Oh, did I close my calculator? Fuck. What did I say we're at? 5402?
I think
when
so.
we started? So 5902 is good. Yeah, okay, so 5902.
Well,
So if we get to 6152 tonight, Agamotto for 3 bits says like this. It's not short, it's cold in here. Counterpoint, it's really hot in this Rhino onesie. But I see what you're getting at.
yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's good for that. Let's do some tweets and hope that we can get another. God damn it! Did I close my? No, I didn't. Okay, I hope we can get another $166 while we're doing the tweets.
In an ideal world.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay. So, Darwin to Jesus says, this one is for the atheists. If God exists and says the Earth is 6,000 years old and scientists say it's 4.5 billion, who should we listen to, God or scientists?
Well, let's go ahead and start with the problem. Which one of them can prove they aren't lying?
Mm-hmm.
Let's assume God exists, just for fun.
So basically what you're saying is who has evidence backing up their position?
Basically, yeah.
Funny you should say that.
Yeah, I feel like maybe one of them actually has evidence. If we're just going, one of them
chat?
claims one thing, and that's it.
I don't see it in the chat. Which chat? I missed a membership chat? Olivia Williams. I'm sorry, Olivia. Where is it? Ah. I'm scrolling. I'm not seeing anything. Oh, there we go.
Everyone
press like. Okay, thank you for that. Appreciate it. I ground the stream to a halt for a like, damn it. You better press it to make it worth it. Also donate to charity. Yeah, so yeah, basically whoever has evidence backing up their position is who I would like to go with for this one.
And generally speaking, that's not the God part. We don't even have evidence that he's actually around.
Yeah, I mean, to that point, you had to get to a hypothetical scenario in order to get to the point where God was even a consideration. So what does that tell you about the evidence if you have to resort to hypotheticals in order to actually arrive at God, even in this
Let's
sort
just
of weak-ass
assume
scenario?
God exists for just a minute. Okay, so we weren't...
Agamotto
we have to assume
13
that?
cheered 3 bits to say, I'm on Twitch, no like to press. Yeah, so I guess if you're on Twitch, send me 3 bits, which I think is literal pennies. So, I should probably put a minimum, but I think it's just hilarious that people can just send me so little.
Jeez.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think it's funny. Okay, so Toby Dew followed this up with, if God exists and is omniscient and does not lie, then I would believe God. However, I would still be a little skeptical that what it is telling me is the info is in fact God. I would still be a little skeptical that what is telling me the info is in fact God. How could I tell the difference between God telling me and a demon telling me?
How do you know the scientists aren't controlled by demons?
Yeah, that's the rational response there.
I feel like there is a person who I will not name, but is a friend of mine and is a content creator who I have had discussions about this kind of stuff with, and I'm not even going to lie. When the conversation of the evidence we have for the age of the Earth came up, he literally said, well, couldn't an all-powerful God just make it look like the Earth has been around that long? For what fucking purpose? How many assumptions do we have to make about this motherfucker?
Yeah, so we are now $151 away from you having to give us an uwu. And let's see if there's a comment with that last one.
Paige says to test our faith. Why? Why do you have to create a series of lies to test our faith? What is the purpose of that? What is the benefit of that? Moreover, actually, just out of curiosity, if you've ever had a friend who spends time in their day testing your friendship, how long do you expect that friendship to actually last? Because usually that's the thing an abusive narcissist does. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities between God and abusive relationships, funnily enough.
Anyway, I'm gonna be a responsible adult, and instead of trying to order pizza, I'm gonna go put a lasagna in the oven.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of the same thing.
I mean, they're very similar. It's just the amount of money I need to spend.
True. They're just like composed slightly differently. The starch is in a different order.
Yeah, there's a difference between me putting a lasagna in or somebody on chat going, no, we for some reason want you to have the pizza.
Go put your lasagna in. I will just point out that nobody has ever ordered me that burger that I managed to set up on that treat stream thing. And that's probably for the best because it's a really gross burger. And if it shows up, my partner's just going to be kind of pissed that I got food and she didn't. Like, not actually pissed, just kind of like a, oh. But anyway, Michael D donated $200 saying, I missed the comment part with 111, so here's enough to put you into the onesie. So thanks for that, I guess. And then someone else donated $15 anonymously, which leaves us, we are now $151 away from Cirrus having to give us an uwu. And we've got 12 days left to get another $4,000. So if somebody just wants to be like an angel donor and donate $4,000 right now, that would be amazing. Heidi says we need pizza, not a burger. I know, but it's a thing that I have to set up and I have to say which foods I'm willing to get. And the only one I bothered to do was the stupid bacon burger. So there's no pizza available. And I'd have to like remember what website it even was in order to set that up now, which I don't. Plus, Cirrus is doing stuff off stream right now.
Well.
Van Brigg says, shave and a haircut, 2 bits. You get it? I get it. Thank you, Van Briggs. I appreciate your dad humor. Whether you're a dad for real or not, you're an honorary dad. Okay. I'm looking at Treat Stream while we're waiting for Cirrus to come back, because that's the thing that I have, because maybe I can add a pizza really quick. Log in with Twitch. Is that how I did it before? I don't know. I don't fucking know. I did. That is how I did it. Okay, add new treats. Proceed. Don't show this again. No, I don't want to add it to Firefox. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Why are you popping so many things up? Okay. Yeah, come on. I had to add treats. Okay, somebody did a hat, I think. Clueless Expert did a hats off to you. Okay, wizard hat. You're a wizard, Harry. No, I don't want to add you to Firefox. Fine, add to Firefox. Continue installation. Sure, fine.
Hello.
If it makes me restart, I'm going to be mad. Ninjastray cheered 13 bits saying, Gary, and this is what bookmarks are for. Yeah, you should see how many bookmarks I have. Okay, I added you. So add new treats. Proceed. This is like the 3rd time I've proceeded. So we did another thing. Redeem to hydrate. I should drink a thing.
I am back and alive, and in 2 hours I will have lasagna.
Yeah, well, my partner was like, we need pizza, so I'm trying desperately to figure out how to add that to Treat Stream.
Oh, good luck with that one.
Do we actually have good pizza in Fort Erie? Do we actually have good pizza in Fort Erie? I don't know, I'm just hungry. Okay. I can't even... the barrel? That's a Fort Erie restaurant. Unable to determine coordinates. What the fuck? I don't know what's going on with this thing, Cirrus.
I don't know. You wish Pizza
Why
Hut
did
was
an address come up
worldwide?
that is not my address?
Pizza.
Or a
Why would
restaurant's
you want?
address?
Why would you want Pizza Hut to be worldwide? That shit's awful.
I don't even know where that street is. Why is it doing that? Okay, I'm not going to even try to do this because I might accidentally send pizza to someone who doesn't want it.
Who doesn't want pizza?
I don't know. I would be very confused and upset if somebody showed up with pizza at my house. 3, tell Garfield uwu.
Did it sound?
Why-
If somebody just
why are
showed
you
up
yelling?
with
Because
pizza
my
at my
partner's in the
house-
other room and I was talking to her, okay? I'm sorry.
If somebody just showed up to my house with pizza, then I would just hand them a magic deck and go, "Okay, cool, time for a fucking great ass time." Pizza and card games.
Okay.
Ignore the fact that my girlfriend's aiming a gun at you just in case anything bad happens.
Anyway, we were talking about how scientists are controlled by demons.
Yeah, we
My
were.
God, you guys are all like making me say things for like pennies. I take it back. VR and Cirrus are awesome, so please donate to the charity. Just my 2 cents worth. 2 bits.
Literally 2 cents worth.
Okay. Okay, sure. Yeah, donate to the charity. Cirrus will say an uwu in another, what are we at? $151. So somebody do that.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, don't worry about Treat Stream. I don't even know how the fuck that works. I think it'll come to me if you order the thing, but it might not. There's a chance that it's going to go to someone on Oak Street, which I don't even know where it is. Donald J. Trump posted on his Truth Social. He says, no one can answer why we subsidize Canada to the tune of over $100 million a year.
Do we subsidize Canada? Is that even the right word for what we
so
do?
I looked into it. So like there's 2 things that he could be talking about here. There's either foreign aid or the trade deficit. Trade deficit is $50 billion.
Okay.
So if he doubled it and then was off by an order of magnitude, that would be a thing that makes sense. But like a trade deficit isn't we're subsidizing them. It's we are buying shit from them and we want the shit. So we buy it. So like
yeah,
that's not a subsidy. That's an exchange of
that's
like
trade
goods and service. So like I don't see why that would be that just means they buy a lot of our you guys buy so much of our wood. You guys love Canadian wood. So it could be the trade of
penis.
But did you know Canada actually does receive foreign aid from the United States?
Doesn't surprise me.
And the obligations for foreign aid that were like passed by Congress for the latest year that we have complete data for is 2023. I forget exactly what the obligations were. It was somewhere around $4 billion. But like once everything was said and done, do you know how much money flowed between like from the United States to Canada in 2023?
I couldn't even begin to guess.
If you had to guess, just take a guess at a number of like how much money went from the United States to Canada in the category of foreign aid.
$200 million.
$200 million. That's your guess.
That's my guess.
I happen to have that number available right now, sir. So if you go to whatthefuckever.gov, I don't know, the website will show up. Foreignassistance.gov, the amount that went from the United States to Canada was negative 18.5 million almost.
Negative 18.5 million.
Which means that we actually sent you guys $18.5 million.
Oh.
When all was said and done, it was we sent you money. Now, to be fair, that's like payments on shit that you guys have paid us in the past. And so like we made our payments more than you paid us more shit in 2023. And so that's where that comes from. That like that's why it's negative. But like you guys,
a wild difference.
You buy shit from us and we repay our debts to you. So what the fuck is he even talking about?
He's lying. He's Donald Trump, so he's lying.
Hellbound Hillbilly says, now I want to see whatthefuckever.gov. This is foreignassistance.gov. I did not go to whatthefuckever.gov. I imagine that does not exist, and .gov has some pretty tight restrictions on it, so you can't just buy it. But whatthefuckever.com will probably take you to a fun time.
Wait until Elon Musk gets a hold of it, and then he'll make sure that you can definitely put whatever you want on a .gov website.
I'm literally going
Probably.
to whatthefuckever.com to see what's there. It's like 4 guys that look like they're divorced dads that are trying to pose for a punk album like 20 years ago, but they're too old for it now, with a big thing that says "Mess with Emily" on the front.
Mess with
Well,
Emily.
here, I can actually just show that. I did that. Oh, no, not that one. There we go. Mess with Emily. We got divorced dads trying to be cool.
I don't know what I'm looking at,
I don't know what I'm looking at either.
but I think you described it as close as you could.
Mess with Emily is the perfect mix of both camaraderie and talent. 5 lead singers. I'm sorry if there's 5 of you. You ain't all lead singers. Strong following, versatile playlist, professional party band, events, corporate clubs, rock, pop, country. So this is whatthefuckever.com forwards to messwithemily.com. And I guess this is a band where it's 5 lead singers and no musicians. So, okay. That's, yeah, no, Jasper says, that's a fucking quintet. Yeah, when you have 5 lead singers, that's a quintet. That's what that is. But, like, am I wrong? Do they not look like divorced dads trying to look cool?
That's basically what I get out of this picture.
Anyway, back to our fucking tweets. Yeah, Canada pays their fucking debts, motherfucker. So we paid you guys $18.5 million in 2023. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about with your $100 million a year. Makes no sense. Yeah, damn straight it makes no sense because you're just wrong.
Because it's not what happens.
Many Canadians want Canada to become a 51st state. Incorrect.
What?
There are a handful of like MAGA idiots up here in Canada, but the vast majority of us are like, no, fuck you, keep that shit to yourself. And he says they would save massively on taxes and military protection. I think it's a great idea. 51st state. So no thanks.
No,
Yeah,
that would literally require us going to take over Canada.
Just think, if you turn Canada into the American system, I would save a tiny bit on my taxes. But the amount that I would then have to pay just in fucking healthcare premiums, not even including deductibles and copays and shit like that. It's like, nah, thanks. I'll take my $700 a year more in taxes. Because that's literally what I pay for healthcare is $700 a year. And that's not the premium, and then I still have to pay a deductible and a copay and all that bullshit. That's it. Prescriptions, yes, I do have to pay for prescriptions for adults. The kids' prescriptions are free. But my prescription is like $100 a month. My partner's prescriptions are like $300 or $400 because she's got diabetes. And we don't have coverage through employers because she's in school and I am self-employed. But yeah, that's still a lot less than just the premiums for a similarly sized household in the States.
Can we just not entertain anything Trump says, thinks, believes, breathes ever again?
Unfortunately, he's going to be in charge of the most powerful country on the planet.
Yeah.
Like, as fucked up as the States is, like, there is one thing that they are number one in, and that's military spending. So, like, yeah, he can call Trudeau governor all he wants because, like, in the dick waving contest, he'll win that one. But, like, he's still an embarrassment to you guys.
What would actually happen?
We all look at that and be like, yeah, no, there's not anything we can do about the fact that he does that. But, like, what a fucking idiot.
The real question is, what would happen if he tried? How many other nations would come in and just be like, all right, America, can you fight all of us at once? You'd burn down the White House again?
Yeah, we did it once. Rosina K donated $5 to make it even. No, she said make it even because it's $6,006 now. You know what? We need another $660. Someone donate $660 so we can get to 6666.
Oy, oy, oy. What do we have after Trump's dumb face?
We have Case Orbs.
Never mind. Can we go back to Trump?
In response to a fucking school shooting, says, shall not be infringed. Of course, he misses the part about well-regulated militia.
I like how the very first thing that somebody thinks after a fucking school shooting is, well, they better not take my guns.
Yeah, no, like, take the fucking guns. You know what the difference is between America and the rest of the world when they get a school shooting? Is that the rest of the world has one school shooting, they restrict the guns, then they don't have any more school shootings. America gets one school shooting, and then people say, shall not be infringed, and then they get more school shootings. Okay, Van Briggs for 91 bits says, this is all I have left, don't worry, VR. I get 91 bits is basically nothing, and I think $3 is the minimum you can give on Canada Helps, but like, if it comes down to a choice between giving me money and giving Project Share money, they need money more than I do. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm moving right now, I need money. I need all the money. But Project Share needs it more.
I have not seen that video page.
That video page?
No, my chat.
I don't know.
Somebody said, have you seen the JREG video on the femcell? And no, I haven't.
That sounds like words I don't want to understand.
I understand all those words. And you know what? Fuck it. I'm on stream with you. I'm going to explain all those words.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so JREG is a content creator. He tends to be apolitical-ish, but he also tends to be okay fighting for people's rights. He actually campaigned with me on the Jabal Moment campaign, so I've hung out with him personally.
If I could interrupt for a moment, Kevin Hitch says nothing can be done, says the only country where this routinely happens.
I know, right?
The latest school shooting, the way I learned that there was a school shooting was I saw The Onion post that headline again, and I was like, oh, it must have been another school shooting, and I was right.
I saw people bitching about trans people. That's how I figured out there was a school shooting.
I mean, that is a fairly new addition to the school shooting thing. It didn't used to just automatically be assumed to be a trans person.
But now the right assumes it's a trans person every
because
fucking time.
There was one.
Yeah.
So now they all are.
Every person who assumes that it's a trans person first maybe should be involved in a school shooting.
I mean, it turns out that it was a neo-Nazi, but not still is a trans person.
Yep. Weird. As for the femcell thing, so you're familiar with what an incel is, right?
Yeah, femcell would be like the female version of that, I would assume.
It'd be the female version of an incel because we have this weird fetish in like all of media that male is the default. There's actually a really good video on this called, I think it's called like Why Bugs Bunny Wears Gloves, that goes over the fact that this has been our default thing for a while.
I don't know about that one, but I know Lindsay Ellis actually uses the Transformers movies to talk about the male gaze and how the male gaze is not just about like point the camera at the lady bottom because the lady bottom is sexy.
It's also actually about how the guy.
No, it's just also about how male is the default. So like, why are there no female Transformers in Michael Bay's movies? Well, turns out they planned on having one, but they ditched that one because they felt that they would have to explain the presence of a female Transformer, and they didn't want to get into all that backstory and trying to figure out how robots would have female or whatever. But having males is fine because male is the default.
Which is weird because we have female Transformers in Generation 1, and we have female Transformers in the anime and all the shows.
Well, I mean, she shows up in the Michael Bay movies. She just dies within seconds.
Like, RC is one of the most popular Transformers of all time.
Yeah, and she was on screen for a couple of seconds in the Michael Bay movies, and then she died. And was never named. She was going to be a main character, but they changed it to be a male Transformer because the male is the default, so that doesn't raise any questions, but having a female, that raises questions. And so like that is the male gaze. It's not just what men want to look at, it is
the assumption
the
that
male
the
perspective of like male is the default because you are a male, so you just assume male sort of thing. It's a really interesting series because like she basically uses different film theories to examine Michael Bay's Transformers movies, just say how these stupid movies that everybody, even the people who like them, agree are stupid movies. This is how we can apply different film theories to explaining them and examining them. And it's a really good series. I enjoyed it.
Lindsay Ellis does good work. I need to watch more of her work.
She does.
By the way, Transformers 1 was also a fun movie, which is also technically a Michael Bay production.
Sure,
But
I don't remember it. I did see it, but I don't remember anything from it. That's actually a point that she makes, is that part of his approach to making movies is just like making the frame as busy as possible at all times. And so that actually makes things not memorable because your brain doesn't know what to focus on. And
I mean,
I find that to be true because like everything, like I know I have seen at least the first 3 Transformers movies, but I could not for the life of me tell you what happens in them.
I wasn't talking about the first Transformers movie. I was talking about the newest one, which is called Transformers 1.
Oh,
which is
okay, fuck that.
Which is a fully CGI animated movie.
I don't fucking know.
That goes over how Optimus Prime became Optimus Prime and how Megatron became Megatron. It goes over their friendship back when they were like closer than brothers and shit.
Okay. I think we got some power. No. What fucking cartoon was that? Pokemon. We got some Pokemon fans donating. So someone donated $20 anonymously and said, prepare for trouble. And then there was another $20 that came that says, and make it double.
Oh.
So I expect you to donate $20 for every line in that thing. So keep going. Keep it up. Come on. And we're at 6046. And we need to be at 6152 for the Surus Uwu. So we are 6046. I have no fucking idea what I did, but apparently we were $1,000 off. Fuck. History. 6152 is what we're aiming for. I had a spreadsheet when we were doing this with other people. Just so you know. Come on, why does equals $106. We are $106 away. I probably should have been able to do that in my head, but we're $106 away from Surus giving an uwu.
Says Rhino.
Chalk it up to America. Fuck yeah! I haven't seen most of the movies. And that's in brackets, so I assume that's with reference to something else you said that I didn't read. But yeah, no, I have not seen most of the Transformers movies. I know that there's testicles on the pyramids at one point, but I mostly know that from Lindsay Ellis pointing it out. Like, when she pointed it out, I'm like, oh yeah, that is a thing that happened. But I do not remember anything that happened in any of those movies because they're just so bland. And when I say bland, it's like, it's not bland as in boring. It's bland as in like, there's so much going on all the time that I don't even know what to follow. So what the fuck is even happening? Anyway, all this came from Kevin Sorbo saying shall not be infringed in response to a school shooting, and forgetting the second part of that, which is well-regulated militia. So, yeah, if you see a bunch of kids being killed and your first thought is we need to protect the guns,
then you're protecting the wrong thing.
You're fucked up. Like, shall not be infringed? Maybe that one should be infringed. Maybe the Second Amendment shouldn't be there. Like,
remember, we're America.
You know what
the land of gun care and health control.
Health control. Yeah. Yeah. Like, you know what the difference is between the one country in the world where school shootings regularly happen and the rest of the world is that the rest of the world does not have the Second Amendment. And so, like, yeah, they're willing to mobilize multiple police forces to avenge the death of a healthcare CEO, but a bunch of fucking children die. And it's like, no, we gotta keep our guns. Can't possibly do anything to protect the kids. Thoughts and prayers.
If you don't have the guns.
So, yeah. Fuck case orbs.
I'd rather him not have more chances to breed, actually.
I mean, not with you or me, he's not. Neither of us can get pregnant, and pretty sure he can't. Mike Winger. Moving on up.
Oh boy, the quiet bigot.
Is he quiet?
It's
Would we call him quiet?
So it's not that he's quiet, it's that he, unlike a Steven Anderson type, he couches his bigotry in sympathy and intellectualism as opposed to let's kill the gays because I think the Taliban was right.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, he says the problem with Christians trying to create a theocracy is that they end up creating a government where man rules in the name of God rather than the one where God actually rules. I don't know of a single post-New Testament theocracy in history that escapes this problem. Says the guy who probably voted for Trump, the guy who is supported by everyone who wants a theocracy. And we're now at 6086. So we're getting there. We're getting there. There's a message with that one. Someone donated $40 anonymously to protect the world from devastation, to unite all peoples within our nation. Okay, come on. $20 a line. Keep going. Keep going. We're almost there. We're $66 away. So that's only, four more lines of the poem. Cirrus, you probably have it memorized. Is that enough to finish it?
Let's see here. To protect the world from devastation, to unite all peoples within our nation, to denounce the evils of truth and love, to extend our reach to the stars above. Jesse
James.
Team
Depends.
Rocket blast off at the speed of light. Surrender now, prepare to fight.
I don't think we'll finish it at $66.
That's right.
I don't think we'll finish it at $66, but it depends how you count the lines, I suppose. We still need to keep going. Anyway, yeah, I just found it very interesting that the guy who, like, I can't say for certain, I haven't seen anything from him saying that, like, yes, I voted for Trump, yes, I approve of Trump. But from what I have seen of him, I am very confident. I would bet you $100. If you can prove to me right now that he did not vote for Trump, I will donate $100 to the charity. If you can
Mike
prove
Winger?
that to me. Find me a clip of him saying who he voted for and that it wasn't Trump.
I don't think you can prove that he didn't vote for Trump.
No, you can't, because votes are
did.
confidential. But, like, based on what I know of him, he voted for Trump. Guaranteed. If he voted for Trump. So the idea that he would then come out and be like, oh, yeah, no, theocracy is bad, actually. Like, okay, well, why'd you vote for the guy that was backed by the people going for theocracy? Okay, so we're at 6192. Does that take us past it? 6152. Yeah, we need a Surasuwu now.
No.
Do it. Okay, Scott D donated $106 and ruined the poem so that he could get an uwu. So you owe him a fucking uwu, Cirrus.
Fine.
Oh, well.
There we go. Thank you, Cirrus.
There.
Scott D says time for the uwu. That is what Scott said. He ruined the poem so that you could give us an uwu, and it was worth it. Thank you, Scott. Okay. So yeah, Mike Winger in favor of Christian nationalism, but pretending he's not. And Neil Shenvi, no idea who this person is, so says, genuine question. For those who think power dynamics mean David raped Bathsheba, how do they explain Genesis 39? Joseph is a slave and still rejects the advances of Potiphar's wife on the grounds that it would be a wicked thing and a sin against God. I actually think that demonstrates the power imbalance and why that makes it rape quite perfectly. Joseph is given a choice. You can either be raped by Potiphar's wife or go to prison. He chose prison over being raped, but did Bathsheba have that same choice? Is the king of Israel is saying, I want to have sex with you. What is going to happen to you if you say no?
You're gonna die.
You're gonna die, probably. It's gonna be worse than prison. So, yeah, it's a power imbalance. It was rape. Potiphar's wife tried to rape Joseph. Joseph and Bathsheba's wife, both victims in those scenarios. Okay, we got another donation. We're at 6232, and there we go. Someone donated $40 to say, to denounce the evils of truth and love, to extend our reach to the stars above. We can still keep it going, even though Cirrus gave us the uwu. But yeah, no, power dynamics are a thing that need to be taken into consideration with sexual relationships. If a prison guard has sex with an inmate, there's a power dynamic there that makes it very hard to escape the idea that that is rape. And that is why prison guards are not allowed to have sex with inmates, because
Yep.
it's rape.
There will always be a power imbalance that is there. The only way to move past that power imbalance, the only way is to remove the power dynamic, or alternatively, to have there be so much time so as to erode. Ow, that was painful. To have there be
I'm sorry
so
that
much.
the donations are painful. Someone donated $69 to say nice, and they broke the poem again.
But there to be so much time that that concept erodes away. The problem is that second one is completely immeasurable.
Okay, sir, people in my chat are asking how much more for another uwu.
I didn't consent to this .jpeg.
Give us a number.
And if I don't give you a number,
okay, you know what? I don't know if this is even possible. I don't know what kind of audiences we have going on. Why is my calculator not clearing when I hit delete? 6301. No, that's not what I was going to do. If we get to 7,500 is my idea, because that's 3/4 of the way there. And that's another $1,200 almost. So what do you think, Cirrus? If we get another $1,200 tonight, will you give us another uwu? Just fucking say yes. It's not going to happen. We're done in like 2 minutes.
yeah, but I'm still gonna look. It's the principle.
Is there a power imbalance here?
Possibly.
Yeah, so $1,200. If we get to $7,500, Cirrus will give us another uwu. It's not going to happen. I don't believe you guys can do it. I don't think you have it in you. Because I appeal to poor people. Rich people don't watch channels saying rich people shouldn't exist. So the fact that we do what we do, given the demographic that watches us, is really quite impressive.
Yeah.
So you guys can try. I don't know how many tweets are left, but it's not many. But yeah, no, this isn't the point that he thinks he's making. Like, yes, the power imbalance was bad in between Joseph and Potiphar's wife. Like that's a demonstration of it. Like, hey, you've got a pretty cushy life. Come have sex with me. Oh, you don't want to have sex with me? Fine. Prison. You go from cushy life to prison.
That's just rape.
That is a demonstration of the power imbalance. Had he had sex with her, that would have been rape. He would have been raped by Potiphar's wife because of the power imbalance. So I don't know what point this person thinks they were making there, but they demonstrated why Bathsheba's wife was, in fact, rape. And if you're not familiar, that's when David saw Bathsheba bathing on the roof, and she was another man's wife. And so he was like, I must have her. And he had her brought to him and had sex with her, and she got pregnant. And then he murdered her husband to cover up the pregnancy.
Actually, no, I'm not. Hold on. I need to get something figured out with my chat real quick. All right. Guys, a long time ago, I put up a rule
far, far away.
a while back that if I had a guest on, or I was guest on somebody else's stream, that it was likely that I would not be getting to every redeem because there is the other person there. And the only way for me to get to every one of those redeems is to either mute the person or interrupt the person or otherwise do something that can be kind of rude. So here's what's going to happen. When you guys ask for me to do redeems while there is a guest on, I'm going to get more belligerent. I'm going to get more angry. I'm going to get more upset. I do not need to do a response to every single one when there is a guest involved. And there is a reason I originally had those rules set up in the first place. I noticed...
I don't consider myself a guest, though. You are my guest.
And that's why I said in the beginning,
Be my guest. Ruin my stream.
Or when I am a guest on someone else's channel.
Fennec is asking, can't you pause redeems during guest time? It's kind of a pain in the butt to modify any redeems.
Yeah, I would have to go into Twitch and I would have to remove them from Twitch.
There's a reason I have a pinned message telling my YouTube audience not to send super chats instead of just turning off super chats. It's because these companies want you interacting with them more. They're not going to make it easy for you to turn off the interaction shit.
Stop says, you told us Rhino was okay, though, if I remember correctly. And it may be the case that I have said that. And it's not me saying that I am not going to do redeems. It is, if it takes me a second to get to redeems, this is the reason why it is taking me a second to get to redeems, because there's another person on who I am talking with at the time.
Yeah, he often does do redeems while I'm on. Probably not all of them, but...
No,
anyway,
I get to the ones I remember,
wait,
too.
Cirrus isn't a bottom?
What?
Apparently, Alex thought you were a bottom.
Where's that coming from?
I don't know. Are you a bottom?
Fairly certain I've told everybody I'm a switch, and that's been the case.
Yeah, sometimes you're a bottom.
Yeah, every now and again.
Switch just seems like it'd be more fun. Just saying.
Paige says, I think I've seen some streamers be able to temporarily... Yes, I am aware. I'm telling you the mechanics involved are going into Twitch and turning them off and turning them back on every single time.
Yeah, Cirrus and I both have ADHD. Cirrus is not diagnosed. Yeah. I am. But
I'm also telling you I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no, so the reason I don't turn off super chats on my things is because I know I'd forget to turn them back on, and call me selfish, but like I need money to buy food for my kids. So like if I'm going to forget to turn them back on and that's going to result in me having less money later, I'm just going to be like, okay, well, maybe the charity does without $10 this time, but I need food next time. Yeah, Jassa says that's selfish. Yep, I'm a selfish person. I don't want to have to make use of Project Share services, which is why I raise money for them while simultaneously making it easy for me to accidentally have some money too.
Yep. So maybe the mods can do it.
I did have
I'm not certain if they can.
We did have I think it was last week we had someone super chatted $300. I did make sure that made it to the charity because that's an amount that it's like, okay, I can't make that. I can't just ignore that as an accident. But like you guys sending your 2 bits, no, I'm not donating 2 cents when you send 2 bits.
Paige just said $300. Wait, what?
Someone just did a thing. We're at 63.41.
Huh.
So Rosina K for another $20 says, Oedipus wife, she's the love of my life. There's nothing wrong. My wife is probably not my mom. God damn it, Rosina. And then for another $20 says, Oedipus mom has got it going on. She's all I want. Wait, did I say mom? I meant ... Oh, Rosina. Oedipus is a weird story.
Yeah.
But, I mean, seeing the homepage of Pornhub.com, a predictable one.
You know, I don't actually tend to get too many of the step siblings or mom stuff on Pornhub anymore.
So here's the thing. The step thing is what drove me to create an account so that I can log in and click on not the step thing so that it'll stop recommending the step thing to me. And it doesn't work because it still recommends it. I don't know, like I kind of get it because they make it all step, it's like tolerable to people who like I just want to jack off to people having sex. And yeah, because it's step, they're not technically related, so it's not really incest, so fine. But then it still kind of tickles the people that have incest, so it's kind of like, that's the free market solution, where it's like, okay, we're trying to appeal to as many people as possible. So like, there's the incest people that want to see related people having sex, and there's the not incest people, but if we make it step, it can be both! And I just fucking hate it.
Yep, that's what it is. It's a way to appeal to all sides of the market.
Yeah, but we don't need to do that. It's like we can just watch people having sex. Why do we have to know what the relationship is? I just want to watch hot people have sex.
Lenari says the anime fans. Okay, but the anime fans aren't watching Step Brother, Step Sister.
The anime fans aren't
They're
watching live
hentai.
action stuff. They're watching hand drawn stuff.
Yeah, they're watching hentai or reading dojins.
Jassa says, "I am stuck in Dryer-kun, Step Rhino." I get that reference. I actually get that reference.
Jesus Christ.
Oh. That's what anime is for. Yeah, no, but yeah, so Oedipus, weird story. Anyway, tweets. Dr. Simon Godek says, "Hard truth, the push for electric cars is about controlling how far you can travel and whether you can travel at all."
How?
Yeah,
What?
so that's my question here is like, so having your cars be reliant on a very intensive refinement process to get raw materials turned into a usable material for your car that requires a whole industrial like chain of supply and demand is not about controlling whether or not you can travel at all. However, having an electric car that I could very easily charge up with just my solar panels and no connection to the grid whatsoever is not like that is trying to control my travel. Like, to be clear, the way my house is set up right now, I could not charge my car with solar panels because like I don't have a battery system, and because of how dangerous it would be to have solar panels producing electricity in a power outage situation, like that would actually like be powering the grid, so line workers who think it's not powered could be electrocuted and die. And so like there's a whole thing that needs to be installed in order to like get a battery system, but like it's doable. I could just install a battery here and then I can charge my car with the sun without having to go to a gas station, without having to pay anyone else for it. So the idea that electric cars are about restricting your travel, whereas the one that relies on a whole system of industry is not, is just weird. Like there's one I can do myself, one I can't. I can do the electric one myself. The other one I can't. Ninjestre says, "This is messed up, but it's actually Step because of laws against actors in that category portraying relatives engaging in that." So it's not about appeal. It's about laws. Okay, I should have known.
Huh. Okay.
Anyway, back to electric cars. What are your thoughts?
I think that electric cars are fine. All of the problems with infrastructure and range of use basically get solved the longer that they're on the market. If he remembers, it was not always the case that it was easy to get petrol everywhere.
Shh, you're not supposed to think about that. The way it is now, it can be hard to do a road trip in certain areas. Therefore, it's controlling how far you can travel.
Right. I don't care how I'm supposed to do it. I'm gonna do it the correct way, which is looking at it from the side of infrastructure, which is the infrastructure will expand over time and solve the problem that he's making up.
But even if it doesn't, even with where it is now, how often do you go on road trips that are more than, say, 4 hours away from your house?
About once a month.
Okay, once a month. You probably do it more often than normal. But even then, like, so my car, I have an all electric car, and it can go about 4 hours on the highway without needing a recharge. Like I went to Baja Con with my electric car. I could have made it all the way there without stopping. I did stop because I'm a fucking coward apparently. But like, it's easy enough to like you find an outlet, you plug in, go have lunch. When you're done lunch, you're at 80% now. Sure, fine, whatever. I don't see a problem with that. But like, I can go for 4 hours. 4 hours is like that's. I know I'm doing that weird thing where you're doing distance in units of time, but like 4 hours, is about 400 kilometers. That's a good chunk of change. Like, yeah, no, sure, you can do 600 in a gas car. That's only 200 more. Yeah, you can fill up quicker, but like, I don't know, infrastructure wise, I just don't even see an issue.
Not to mention, like, we can literally just park somewhere plug the car up and go take a shit. If that's a thing that you like, because I've been trying to think of like how would my habits have to change if I had an electric vehicle, and for the most part, the only thing it really does change is those long car rides. And during those long car rides, most of the time it's going to be, oh, this truck stop has a restaurant. Looks like we're eating for an hour.
Yeah, well, and even without that into consider, so I'm a family of 7. We have 2 vehicles because sometimes 3 kids need to be over here and 4 kids need to be over there.
Yep.
And that's actually oversimplifying it. It can get a lot worse than that. So my car is electric. The van is a hybrid. So you can just fill it up with gas. So there have been times when it's like, okay, we're going to Toronto. The car can make it to Toronto, but whether or not it makes it back will depend on whether or not we can find a parking spot with charging. And Toronto's a bit finicky for that. It's pretty solid guess that yes, you'd be able to find a parking spot with charging. Would it be DC fast charging, or would it be level 2 charging, which is a lot slower? I don't know. So there's enough unknowns there that we would probably take the van instead of the car. So that's an option. Like a lot of families like mine have 2 vehicles. So you get one electric vehicle that do your puttering around town with, and one gas vehicle that you do your long trips with. Okay, problem solved.
Yep.
Like, I don't ever have to worry about the range of my electric car, because if I'm going somewhere that's out of range, I just take the gas one.
That's hard to think about, though. Can we instead make it about a giant conspiracy to control everybody?
I see someone saying Heidi is right, so now I have to go find what Heidi said, because Heidi is always right.
Oh, there goes my neck. That felt amazing.
I don't know what Heidi said. Oh, in a zombie apocalypse, gas will be scarce. Yeah. That's the thing. In a zombie apocalypse, yes, my house right now as it stands is not set up for zombie apocalypse, but if I wanted to, I could set up battery banks and a disconnect from the main grid to a point where, like, if there was a power outage, I would still have electricity in my house, and it would be enough to charge the car. Not a lot of charge for the car, and they're like, I probably want the fridge to run before I want the car to charge. But in a zombie apocalypse, someone with solar panels, batteries, and an electric car is going to be way better off than someone in a gas car, because those tankers carrying gas aren't going to fill up the gas stations in a zombie apocalypse.
You know what's a weird thing that doesn't really get noted in a lot of zombie apocalypse movies? The fact that the power plants don't have people at them. That doesn't just mean that the power grid shuts off. For some of them, that means they explode.
Yep.
Like, we don't tend to see too many stories that go into the fact that, hey, on day 15 of the zombie apocalypse, the nuclear plant melted down.
So Fennec is asking where the extra kids come from. It's a hers, mine, and we're Brady bunching it up here. I have 3 kids. She has 2 kids. So together we have 5. And I just think of her kids as my kids now. So I have 5 kids. Technically, yes, it's only 3 biological kids, and we haven't done an ours thing. Like, I've been snipped and she's been blasted, so there's no more kids happening that way. No matter how many times she looks at me every time she sees a baby and goes like, oh, I want to make another one. Doesn't matter. Neither of us can do that anymore.
I mean, on your end, yours is reversible.
3 here and 4 there, that's 7 kids. Okay, well, that's just me not being able to count, okay? We've already... Have you not seen me struggling with the fucking calculator with the most basic of, like, figuring out what this plus $250 is all night? And you think I can count 3 and 4? The fuck is wrong with you, Fennec? Axo's asking blasted. Yeah, no, that's there's the thing they do with the they stick like a hot rod up the hoo-ha and like blast out the uterus. Ablation, that's the word. Uterine ablation. There are many medical reasons why that should happen, but it makes you unable to bear children after that. It's like one step shy of hysterectomy.
Van Briggs says there was a thing in the TV series Z Nation, the power plants exploded and had meltdowns. See, that's cool. I need to check that out, because there was a So, like, I know in the novel World War Z, the reason that never happened is the power plants, at least a lot of the nuclear ones, were actually safe.
Everybody in my YouTube chat is like freaking out about my description of like women's health care. It's like, this is just the thing that they deal with, man.
Her cooter got burned up internally.
It's like, that description made my body just recoil in pain. Yeah, what do you think happened to her body? It's the way it works. Welcome to women's healthcare.
Yeah. Yeah.
Frank Turek says, don't think that the Bible is expressed literally. Much of it is not literal. And even some of the Old Testament judgment commands are said hyperbolically.
You know, you're not technically wrong, because there are plenty of biblical linguistic experts who have had to say when certain things are in the language of poetry versus in the language of the scribe versus in the language of history. I get that, but still.
Okay, Axis says, Rhino, I'm assigned female at birth. What the fuck? Yet, I get it. I'm not saying you don't understand what feminine healthcare is like. And
then get your insides blasted.
I'm just saying that, like, as a guy with a dick who's assigned male at birth, I have seen the women in my life go through the healthcare system, and I have it so easy compared to them, is my main point with what I was trying to say there. But yeah, back to Turek. So my takeaway from this, though, was, so if he's willing to take some commands as hyperbole and other commands are literal, he's not clarifying what metric he's using to determine that. And since the command to like not eat shrimp is in the same place as the command to not be gay, I'm just going to say that he's interpreting this with his opinion. He thinks being gay is icky, so that's a literal one. But eating shrimp, he likes shrimp, so that one's hyperbole.
Yeah.
So this is just him being a bigot and using the Bible as a shield for his bigotry, so that he can say, I'm not a bigot, I'm just following the Bible.
That's just like your opinion, man. I don't know how many times I'm going to be able to get leverage out of that quote, but...
Oh, everyone gets leverage out of that one all the time. But yeah, no, this is what, like, the best part about this, like, yes, I can see the argument that the Bible is anti-gay. I get that. It's that one you have to use a lot of interpretational nuance to get around, because there are some verses in the Old Testament that are very clear about that. Yes, the New Testament is less clear. Like the words that are translated as homosexual are more vague and ambiguous than evangelicals would have you believe. But the Old Testament is fairly clear. There is still some room for wiggling there, but not as much room as there is in the New Testament. But they're not really obsessing over gay people as much anymore. It's mostly about the trans people. And the thing about trans people is the closest the Bible even comes to acknowledging that they exist, if you first ignore the fact that there are 8 genders in the Hebrew Talmud, according to rabbinic tradition. If you ignore that, and like transgenders are some, like male at birth but turns into female later is one of the genders, and vice versa. So like there are transgender gender identities that are accounted for in rabbinic tradition. If you ignore that, the closest the Bible comes to acknowledging the existence of trans people or saying anything about it is the verse in, I think it's Galatians, that says there is no Jew or Greek, there is no slave nor free, there is no male nor female. So the closest the Bible comes to acknowledging the existence of trans people is to say gender doesn't exist. Gender's not a thing. So be whatever fucking gender you want. So it's easier to interpret the Bible as being pro-trans than it is to interpret it as being anti-trans. So if you come at the Bible and say that it's anti-trans, that is you being a bigot. That is not you just reading the plain interpretation of the Bible.
That's you looking at the, usually they're looking at Genesis and going, and God made them male and female, and trying to run with that.
Yeah,
as
so
hard
that's
as they possibly
interesting
can.
thing about that. When if you go back to the rabbinic tradition of 8 genders, God made Adam male and female. That was one of the genders, is where you are both male and female simultaneously. And then it wasn't until God made a helper for Adam and split Adam into 2. And the word translated as rib is actually probably better translated as side. So essentially, God split Adam in half. Adam was androgynous.
Yeah, androgynous.
That's the English. It's androgynos is the Greek pronunciation. And I know it's Hebrew word or whatever, but like it goes back to fuck. I've had too much wine to be talking about this authoritatively, but that is one of the genders, is containing both male and female characteristics. And so Adam was made androgynous, containing both male and female, and then God split him into male and female. And that's what that whole segment meant, at least according to rabbinic tradition. It's the Christians that come along and be like, no, that means there's only man and woman. Like, no, that's just you guys being idiots.
That Adam was an NB. What the fuck? Anime was right all along.
Mm-hmm.
Adam was sitting there going, "Hey, there's this really cool anime called Bible Black. You'll understand it eventually."
5 more genders to go. So we have
You have
Wait,
more
male?
genders to go?
No, 5 more genders to go. So they're counting how many I've mentioned. So we've got male, we've got female, we've got assigned male at birth and turns female later. So they separate it. There's male at birth but turns female with human intervention. There's male at birth but turns female without human intervention, and same thing the other way around. Then there's androgynous, and I'm losing track of the numbers. I have a video somewhere on my main channel that actually goes through the whole thing. But yeah, the Talmud and ancient Judaism was actually much more trans-affirming than modern evangelical Christianity. And if you actually look at the texts with this cultural nuance, it's way easier to interpret them as trans-affirming than trans-denying. So the fact that all these evangelicals are being like, no, you can't be trans, you're either male or female. No, that is you being a bigot and trying to use the Bible as a shield for your bigotry with that one verse that says men shouldn't wear women's clothing and women shouldn't wear men's clothing, which
doesn't make any fucking sense, because what is men's clothing and what is women's clothing has changed throughout the fucking years.
Don't even go with that. What is a man? If a trans man is a man, then telling a trans man to wear women's clothing is against biblical law. If a trans woman is a woman, then telling a trans woman to wear men's clothing is against biblical law. That is super easy to interpret as being trans-affirming. So, like, the one verse that could be said to condemn being trans is actually the one verse. Like, it's so easy to interpret it as being trans-affirming. My point,
you have to actually try to be a bigot.
My point is that people that are anti-LGBTQ based on the Bible are not actually doing it based on the Bible. They're just being bigots. And they're trying to use the Bible as a shield so that you can't just call them bigots. But no, the Bible doesn't support that position. Sorry. Fuck off. Donate to Project Share. And that's it. We're ending with Frank Turek.
We go from Frank Turek to Darwin to Jesus. That sounds like a different sentence than what it actually is.
Yeah, I mean, he also denies evolution. So yeah, no, we didn't quite make it to 7,500, but we're at 6,341. Let's see if there are any. Oh no, we messwithemily.com is still up. Where the fuck are all my? God damn it! I think I closed that. Okay. I am going to donate.vicerhino.com so I can see who. No, Rosina's still the last one. Come on, you guys aren't going to let Rosina have the last word, are you? She monopolizes so much of these streams already.
Guys, can we psychologically manipulate you into spending more money on charity?
It's not spending money, it's giving to charity. You know,
yes,
this one of my videos is coming out is Sean McDowell talks about how Christians are more generous than atheists. So, like, prove Sean McDowell wrong. Donate now. Say, I'm an atheist. Donating against Sean McDowell.
Not the fake Swede says, where am I donating? I just sent a link to where you're donating.
If you type in donate.vicerhino.com, it will take you there, but that is a forward, and the forward is not secure, so it might give you a warning saying it's not secure first. So just make sure the little lock is there once you get there, but you can say, go to the website.
It's very cash money. Literally, it's
It is cash money. Project Share is a great organization. They do a lot of good work in the Niagara region. And that's why I do this every year.
In the meantime, I'm just sitting here messing with a big strand of TPU filament.
So I just got my first ever roll of TPU filament yesterday.
It's so I'm not gonna lie, if you just cut off like a I want to say 2 feet, but I don't know what that is in your fake units. But if you just cut off like 2 feet of TPU and just mess with it, just like stretch it, press against it, just manipulate it like a fucking fidget. This is way more fun than it should have been. It's just a strand of rubber. That's all this is.
So, okay, fun fact. I have a bamboo printer.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm an idiot who has to make everything relevant to anything, I finally got around to actually giving it a name. And I couldn't just give it a proper name. It is called Meal Bamboo.
Meal Bamboo?
Do you get the reference?
No.
Oh, it's Dick Van Dyke from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Oh, me old bamboo, you better never bother with me old bamboo. You can have me hat or me bumber shoot, but you better never bother with me old bamboo. Bam,
Nope.
bam, bam, bam. Come on, classic, man. It's a classic. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So,
Not the fake Swede says donation done.
donation done? I didn't see a donation. We're at 63.41. Fuck, did I close that? Did I close that other window again? God damn it.
I reset the window and didn't see it either. Weird. Unless it's
Peter,
one of those things where
Peter M sent $50.
there we are. Okay.
For some reason, it didn't give me the... there it is. There it is.
There's the
notification.
noise.
It's on a delay. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate it. We're still not at 7,500, but that, yeah, like,
my
I
God.
said that wouldn't happen, so we're good. Anyway.
It's only good because you said so.
Okay, the Fat Rhino has sung, so it is time to end the stream. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for your generosity. I really hope that we get to this $10,000 goal because I haven't missed 10,000 in years. So,
Well,
I
good news
I will be
is-
disappointed if we don't get there.
We have a few more streams in the month.
I don't have any more. Okay. I don't have any more guests lined up. So, the cognitive dissonance guys.
Yeah.
So several years ago, I asked them to help me with the fundraiser, and then it was derailed by a certain event, namely the death of my wife. So they were going to join us to. Well, I don't know if you're doing it with me then. Yeah, you probably would have been involved at some point. But
That
was
was the one where I stepped in and actually did some of the streaming, if memory serves.
Yeah. So they were going to join me for that, but after they said yes, my wife died. So this time I asked them. I haven't asked them since. This is the first time I asked them, and they said yes. And now I don't know how much I'm allowed to share, but there have been hospitalizations in their lives now, and it ain't happening because of stuff like that. So I'm like, maybe I should stop asking you to come on my channel because people keep having to go to the hospital and stuff.
Lenari says, can we donate between streams?
Yeah,
Absolutely,
for sure.
You can donate
100%.
between
This
streams.
donation is live. I think you can even donate after the fundraiser technically ends. I'm pretty sure you can still donate after that. So, like, yeah, always. But, yeah, no, I don't have any guests lined up for the rest of the month, so hopefully I can figure something out for tomorrow.
This is the sound of TPU, if you can hear it. Just sounds like I'm flinging a rubber band.
I don't know. Maybe we should do some Fortnite, you and I.
I wouldn't mind doing some of that tomorrow.
Is there something we can do in Fortnite to encourage people to donate? We can work this out off stream.
Yeah, but there's definitely something there's some stuff we can do.
I have to raid someone. I don't know who I'm raiding yet. I will figure it out while the credits roll. So yeah, I'm gonna roll the credits now. As always,
I'm gonna
fuck off.